Right. What happened last week? Well, last week we found ourselves, Caradak and Ulmakor, spending a little bit of time around Arvid's establishment. You found Torvi, who had been working or is working for Erstadt, had been uh, badly treated, but you questioned her. Got what information that you deemed was interesting, was necessary. While down in this dungeon, which is not man-made, beneath his establishment, you could also see somebody that was chained to a wall. You left, but during a particular incident, while Ulmakor was speaking to the king, we found Caradak was with the. Well, he'd walked outside and he bumped into Erstadt. Erstadt took him to where the Thuringians were being held prisoner. Through whatever he was trying to achieve, he was in discussions with him. He ordered Caradak, I should say, to execute the Thuringians, but not to inform you, to keep it away from Ulmakor. You did come clean in the end. Just getting a book out the library. You
to drink.
You came clean in the end. You explained to Ulmakor what Erstadt had demanded of you. But in the process, he also seemed to taunt you, whether it was a slip or a warning or something like that. But as it turns out, he taunted you about the last Vakhtari, the one that was supposed to be established, the one that was supposed to be there for him. He was missing. He pointed this out. You hadn't noticed. You put two and two together. You went back to Arvid, and you identified that Vakhtari that was supposed to be there to protect Erstadt, to represent the Semnathai, was chained to the wall in the basement of Arvid's establishment. While above, in the forecourt, there was some kind of non-ritual gathering ritual.
Yeah.
But you couldn't sense the presence of the gods. And bear in mind that it's not something that Ulrich or Tal, or in fact any of the gods that you know of, to be fair, you got Semnathai rituals. But the gods that you represent, the gods that you speak to, they don't ask for this sort of stuff. This is beneath them. This is, this. So in one side it was, this is very Semnathai in its essence, but it's very.
It's nothing that I recognise.
Never experienced, or it was off-putting to see that you had the tribespeople doing this, because this is just wrong. Ulrich, Tal, none of them do this. So whether it's a southern thing, this Arvid has brought it to your shores, you don't know, but he wasn't available. He wasn't there for you to talk to. So anyway, you took the man that was chained and badly tortured. His bones had been repeatedly broken, his tongue cut out. He was in a bad way. You took him out of there, hid him in a sack, and returned back to the King's Great Hall, where you then hid him away, or you've just taken him into your private quarters.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where we start off, as you head through the main hall, with the Vakhtari survivor in hand. The hall is not as full as it was earlier, but there's still a few stragglers still drinking, still eating, and they effectively ignore you as you walk by. And you make it down the corridor. You can't see Erstadt, and you make it to your main chamber, closing the door behind you.
Yep.
The man is in and out of consciousness, massively dehydrated, starved, like literally on starvation is, his primary sort of visual.
And in
the broken, distended
in certainly my estimation, if I've ever seen this level before, is this guy going to recover, or is it unlikely?
Unlikely you've never seen anything done like this before. Even the Semnathai will, the sacrifice, they've got something to do, but as far as this sort of level of torture is concerned, this is beyond anything you've ever seen or experienced. But what you know of the ability of the human form to survive, he's not surviving this. This is not recoverable. It is only a matter of time.
Yep. Caradak put him down on my bed, because obviously I'm not carrying him. Put him down on bed.
Place him on the bed.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, Caradak, I don't know why Erstad has decided to treat this Vakhtari in this way. To be honest, to a certain extent, I don't care. He may have offended Erstad. He may have done something wrong. I don't know. As you know, Factari, some of the Semnathai can be treated rather harsh. It's not your experience with me, but it's nothing unusual. So, with that in mind, I'm not bringing this guy. This guy's not getting looked after in terms of being cuddled back to a long and healthy life, because it may be the reason why he's in this position is completely justified. We understand each other?
I understand you clearly, Master.
This guy is simply not conscious. He's not,
Correct, yeah.
and he's not capable of talking because I've seen he's missing
His
tongue. Right, okay. I need you to build up the fire. I'll go and lock the door, make sure we're not disturbed.
Yep.
I need to get the fire. I don't know what state the fire's in. Has it been built, or
It has been built as you would expect.
it's ready to go? Well, I need it.
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
so we need
It's
it.
got kindling. It's equipped.
But
for-
there's a fire in there.
prepared, yes.
Oh, it's just prepared. So we need to get it up and going and getting some heat coming out of it. So that could take about 5 minutes to get the flames going and getting some heat. I'll take some of the bedding, cushions, whatever, soft furnishings, whatever there's in there, to create something on the floor that I can get him and get myself. So I can basically. He needs to be down close to the fire, not on the fire. Close to the fire. I'm going to be beside him. We're lying down, sort of lying side by side.
Yep.
Cushions are for me, not really for him, but yeah. Yeah, I don't like lying on the floor.
It's cold.
Exactly. Hey, Samantha. And in that position, once the heat starts coming out, because it needs to be warm, I'm inducing my a trance-like state to commune with Ulrich. The reason for the fire is that Ulrich's quite a cold god in terms of his place, and it's going to get cold in here. And it's going to get cold in here. Just bear that in mind. Don't be alarmed, but it's going to get cold. I need Ulrich's strength to help me through in terms of communing with this guy. And so I'm going to draw on Ulrich, take him to the wild places where this guy's spirit can be free. So he's not part of his body, and I'm going to try and see if I can communicate with him. It's hit and miss. It's never always successful, and it can be quite draining on the body, which is why I've got the heat going in the. And I'm going to try and see if I can't commune with him. Try and get an insight as to what happened. Anything that's in that wild place, but I know his spirit will be free because he's going to be heading to Ulrich's halls, and he's on the cusp. So it's a matter of just almost joining him as he's free and heading that way. And if needs be, give him a nudge that way as well to free him.
Okay.
It's not an easy process. I will be here in this position, and we could be here for an hour or so. It depends. Make sure no one comes through that door. Don't care who it is, right? If anyone gives you any cause to say that it's under my direct order, they're not to come through and they're not to disturb us. I'm going to be in a not very defendable position once I get into this trance. No one comes through that door. I don't care if it's the king. I don't care if it's Erstad. It's under my direct mandate, my direct order. If they come through that door without my permission, they'll have me to answer for. As long as you understand that.
Yes, Master. So once I've made the injured, Octari, that's at death's door, comfortable, I will take my leave and stand to it.
Are you leaving the room and standing outside the door? Or you're
Yes.
staying in the room with the door closed between you and the corridor.
He said not let anybody in, so it's best if I
Step outside.
step outside, yeah.
Okay. And you pull the door behind you. Okay. The heat starts to come into the room. You lie down beside the Vakhtari. He's feverish. He's in and out of consciousness. As you presumed, the simple moving of him from where he was has taken what's left of his grasp, and he is slipping into the void. You channel the energies that you know exist that are beyond the power of mortal man. You've had during your training during your years, you've had reason to do this. It's part of the transcendent aspect of the Semnathai itself. But never have you followed a spirit completely through. You know your way back. You know that you can visualize the the line, whether it be soul, mind, thought, leading back to your body as you transfer from your conscious, you're from your body into connecting with the Vaktari as he lies slumped on the floor. Completely now removed from your body, you're unaware, you can't feel, but you know of the temperature drop, you know of the frost as it starts to form. You can hear the sound. You can sound from behind you through the door. You hear frost forming, the crack, the coldness of a winter's night. Yeah, you recognise that where you're close to a fire and you can hear the sound of timber cracking under a deep spell of cold. You don't find yourself on a snowy hill or a mountain or a plain. You find yourself in a place where sight itself has sound. The wind howling past you is a roar as well as a visual lines as if the visual around you is stripped into lines of movement. It's dark, it's barren. You're in a valley with steep-sided walls. You see the spirits of those moving through Mor's realm, all coming together. You look around and knowing that you're this close, and while the spirit of this Vaktari is passing through the void, it is still somewhat connected to the body. You find yourself able to travel straight to where the Vaktari is as he walks towards Mor's gates. You're a little bit surprised to not find a man, but you find a child. Strong of bone and muscle, eyes bright, hair darkened and oiled, but of a fairly fair tint, where you can see from the way that the oil itself is possibly being a couple of days back and being put forward. You realise that what you're looking at is the Vaktari's last sort of happy memories. Not that he's walking through the realms of more, but this is how old he was when he has a last memory of what he can remember to be joyous. He's still a child. At this age, you know that he's with the Semnathai. You know that he's being trained by the oil that's being daubed to his head. This is the first time. This is when he's been given what would eventually be his actual talent. He's been assigned somewhere. He's been assigned a talent. You don't know enough of how the Vaktari work, but you know that this is where you go from being just a mass of children growing to a certain age to you are now part of something bigger. He'll have started very shortly after this. He'll start being involved in gatherings, involved in callings, in tithes. This is before. This is during training. This is early doors. You approach. You push through the rest of the souls as they move through Mor's realm. Ahead of you, because you float down into the mass. You can see it is this long, winding path that goes through. It's sort of labyrinth. There's just this valley of literally of lifelessness. And at the end, you can see these stairs go up to this gate, this vast gate made of bone. And you can see along the way, you can see male and female guardians, almost spirits guarding the spirits themselves. You can see that they are carrying in appearance bone. You know, they are the literal, the visible reckoning of death. But it's the transition that if they pass whichever god they follow, if they pass their ideals as they pass through the gate, that's when they'll enter that realm. At that point, they will be judged. At that point, the Vaktari will be judge wanting. If he passes his trials, he will move through into Ulrich's halls. Not all have to travel through Mor's realm like this. You know this. You travel down into the pile, into the line of spirits. Effectively, you're ignored as you close on the Vaktari. He doesn't look up before, moments by and pass, and you're walking beside him. He's about waist height. You estimate 5-6 years old, maybe. Already very well developed, as all Vaktari are through physical training, even at this age. But his eyes are distant. His mouth closed. He's not looking down. He's proud, even at this point. But you can see that he's not really aware of where he is or where he heads.
As I'm moving in beside him, I'll tell him, and I'll obviously I don't know his name. Vaktari, can you hear me? Vaktari.
He looks up. His eyes focus on you. Semnathai. His voice is high pitched of a child of his age, but it's born of an intelligence of someone older.
Right. Okay. Your last memory, Victoria. Your last memory before you ended up in that dark cellar. What transpired? What happened? What made you end up being taken down there?
As you talk, obviously you've stopped. He takes a knee. The tide of spirits move around you, as if you're a solid point of stone in a river. You cause ripple effect as they move out of position, but they come back together on the other side. He continues to kneel as if that of someone of a lot older. As you watch, he grows, he ages, and becomes what you assume to be the man he was before the torture began.
Mm.
Much larger than Caradak, heavily outbuilt. You can see that he is warrior born. I remember the Zakonik. We travelled from the enclave. We came to the court of King Bjorn. The Zakonik ordered me to speak with the Thuringians and to bring them to him in a place of the dark-skinned traveller. I remember hearing a voice. It spoke to the Zakonik, told him of things in a language I could not understand. And I felt a blow. I was struck from behind. I went with the attack, but I went down on one knee. I could feel dampness as my head was wrung. I struck out. And I believe I caught the Zakonik with the tip of my spear, meaning to strike at whoever assailed me. And then darkness. I have vague dreams, nightmares of seeing through red light and feeling pain, knives, hammers. But I will not scream, for Ulrich will not allow me into his realm. At this point he looks up. Are we within Mor's realm, Semnathai?
We are transferring ourselves through Mor's realm, and you have obviously had a worthy life, and will soon go to the point where you will be tested, as we all will be tested at that time, to find out whether you will join Ulrich at his table. You will be strong, you will be courageous. It's what you were in your life, and it's what you will be in your death. And you will end up in Ulrich's hall.
But my weapons. I have no weapons. How can I protect you in this place?
I need no protection in this place. This is the point where we're all Semnathai. We have our own skills to protect ourselves here. This is the point where you have done your utmost and you've done your last, and now this is for you. Your service is over. You have provided information, the final service, and I will leave you in Mor's hands to eventually find Ulrich's table. I have no doubt of that. You have to just be strong and be resolute as you were in life. And always remember that you have your fists, you have your feet. If I ever needed protection, swords are not and blades are not the only thing that Vaktari possess. I wish you well, and I wish you the Godspeed in your final journey. Leave him because I've got everything I need.
As you start backing off, you've been aware of shadows approaching.
Okay.
They weren't an immediate threat by any means, but you were aware of approach of power. You look up and you can see heavily black armoured, plate-mailed warriors. Their weapons are sharp and long. They are reapers. They are the soul warriors of Mor.
Mm.
Sensing life where there shouldn't be, sensing a connection and a delay, they descend upon your location. Even the power of the Semnathai would be somewhat taxed, you suspect, and they care not for the power of man. You look up and see them literally floating through the air. Their tattered cloaks on a breeze unfelt as they come towards you.
I will give my leave now, Vaktari. My place is not here. Yours is, and I wish you well.
My lord.
And I'm going to cut the cord quickly and try and get out of Dodge.
You start to withdraw. You take to the air. They were coming slowly but solidly. There was no delay. It was as if a tide was coming across, across a beach. It will eventually reach its high point. It would eventually reach you. They didn't seem to be in any hurry. As you retreat, the Vakhtari stands, turns, still in his male strong form, falls in line, and the ripple slowly becomes a smooth stream of souls heading towards the Guardian Gate. As you start moving back, you intone the words that will bring you back to your body, and note that the sentinels are turning to come towards you, sensing that you are the intruder. But long before they can get to you, with a snap and a ragged, painful breath of air, you're back inside the solid form of your body, which you feel the sudden weight, whereas the soul has none. The weight of the body at this point, you know, to be as you descend back into the mortal realm, is incredibly heavy. It's hard, and you lie there for moments, your eyes closed tight. You can feel the cold and realize it's not the frost of a winter's hill, but that of the realm. You know that you can approach. There are times where you can get into Ulrich's halls. You can get into his hunting realm. You can get into Tal's forests where his people are and talk to them there. You were just simply too soon. He hadn't passed through Moor's realm, and that's the first time you've experienced Moor's realm, and you can feel it's left a small mark upon you. There's a chill in the air, as you feel the heat from the fire start to warm you.
Right. Has he transitioned yet? Or is he still alive?
He's still there, but barely.
Right.
Hours have passed. You go through the muscle exercises to stop cramping, to stop the muscles dulling and going to sleep. You are as alert now as you were 3 hours by. You hear the intake, the sudden voice, audio noise from within the room behind you. You look in, you see the seventh eye lying beside the Vakhtari. You see the seventh eyes are closed tight. You can see that there's steam rising from his body, and you can see that there's a frost that's covered both of them. And you can see him labouring for breath. You are conscious.
Oh, I'm aware now. Okay.
Master Ulmakor.
I need warm. Bring me a warm drink. If there's anything here, and stoke that fire up. It's. I feel cold to the bones that I've never felt before. I need to do this quick, and we then, once you've done that, lock that door, and we will sit beside your comrade as he makes his final transition. He has been a worthy servant to the Seventh Eye up until the last, but at the moment, I'm freezing.
As you wish, Seventh Eye. I'll get a drink. Lock the door, bring you a drink, and if you need assistance,
Is it warm? I need a warm drink. I need something warm. Like stick it on a pot on the fire, whatever, but get it warm because I'm cold.
Prepare a warm drink.
Well, are you going to prepare, or are you going to go out there where there's servants?
I'll just go and get one. I need a warm drink.
It's going to be like something like a warm mead. It'll be prepared, or there could be some gravy from the food.
No, rather me preparing. I'll just see
just
the
go there and
servants.
go.
Yeah, get me.
The ladle. The gravy from a broth. It's the fastest thing. Or there is some mead, but it'll take a couple of moments to warm. Which do you choose? Well,
Whatever's available, I'll just say, get me
the
some.
The female servant does it and passes you a tankard.
Right.
Cool. Bone broth. Nice.
Yeah.
We'll return, lock the door behind, and sit you up.
Right. Okay.
Wrap a blanket round you by the fire. Offer it to you.
Right. I'll take that and greedily drink that down to try and get some heat in. Stoke that fire up as well, will you, Caradak? It is freezing in here. All the time I'm going to be watching the unknown Vakhtari and just noting the rise and fall of his chest, or the lack of it at the point where he transitions. Deserves nothing more. He deserves more, but the only thing that we can give him is to sit and watch him pass.
Kneel down beside my brethren.
and start. I'll be sipping at this hot broth, trying to get some the noisiest drink in the world in this cup. I'll be sipping my bone broth, and I'm gathering my thoughts about what I've heard, what I've witnessed, not just because of what the Vakhtari told me, but also where I've been, which I've never been there before, and that's a lot. I'm taking that on board. I'm also. Do you recall, Caradak, the serving girl, in her final moments? Do you recall her talking about black pouches of some substance, or pouch with something in it? Do you recall anything like that? I have a memory of it now. My mind has been somewhat scattered by the events I've just witnessed, but I seem to remember there was talk of pouches being distributed to people. I think therein lies a secret that we need to find out more about.
I do recall her referencing a pouch of some sort, but I'm unaware of what this means.
No, I'm not aware of what it means at this stage. I want to be aware. Nevertheless, we will see this soul depart from this realm, and with any good fortune that he had in life, let's hope he gets to Ulrich's table.
There was a mist
As
forming.
I was going to say, as a large shadow appears in front of
There was a mist forming behind you. Your natural defences kick in, and the spirit howls.
So we'll just kneel.
Yep.
By the Victorian, just out of respect. I mean, I'm very ready. Caradak's not. I'm just going to be kneeling beside him.
Yeah.
Watch him pass.
Takes
As it takes
a couple of hours. Takes you past the.
Oh, and he died.
Takes you past the in the middle of the night, before his final ragged breath rattles through his desiccated and badly tortured body, before he finally becomes still and manages to sink even further into the blankets wrapped around him.
Right.
His eyes closed.
Yes. Yeah, they haven't been open for a considerable amount of time. You feel you can feel an emotional sort of release and a sadness. You're somewhat surprised by it because you're not really connected to the Factory or anything like that, but there's something about this passing and the way it is, and whether it's the misuse of a loyal servant, someone that would have gladly have given their life regardless of reasoning behind it, but the treatment of this, it just smacks of something darker, something more sinister, and you can't help but have the thought that pops in your head that you've stopped a final part of something bigger.
Now I don't know, Caradak, what the Vakhtari do for the fallen in terms of the procedures. Do you bury them? Do you burn them? Do you take them to their favourite haunting place? What do you do with your fallen comrades at the point when they've left this realm?
That's up to the individual. They wish. I will take it.
We need to take care of this and not be seen by as well. This needs to happen without drawing attention. There are powers that are in play here. I don't wish to know that we know what's going on, and so this would be a very big giveaway. But I don't wish to disrespect and disregard this man's efforts through life by simply having him burnt on, disposed of in the docks. I'll leave it up to you in terms of the Vakhtari way. But this needs to be done quickly, and it needs to be done now. We can't hide this thing forever. And while I can conceal him, the smell will start drawing attention.
Understood, Semdathai. I'll wrap up his body. And I'll leave helm, shield, spear here, put down the cloak, and pop him on the shoulder, and I'll leave. head out into the woods.
Oh, so you're leaving the city
Just
entirely?
leaving. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Okay. Right.
Perhaps hadn't thought he was going to. Oh, yeah, he needs to be buried where? In his hometown. 27 days away. All right. You should tell me that one. I'm there like,
Well, we normally just throw them in the toilet.
Yeah.
The conclave. Right. Okay.
I had to go back and ask, all right, you could have told us. Couldn't get any more gravy, didn't know where you got it from.
Right. You leave the Great Hall. You take a left up the road and you start heading towards the gates. As you approach the gates, the guards see you coming.
Let's walk.
They are not as fast as you'd like, and they cause you to pause as they realise that you're not going to communicate with them, but they recognise the Victoria armour. Even though you're not carrying weapons, they can recognise the breastplate and helm. Not aware of what you're doing, but they're quick to move towards the gate and just start to pull it down and swing it up. Remember, it rotates outwards.
Yeah.
And it forces you to have to wait because
Oh, the gate closed. Okay.
it's gone midnight.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Sorry.
Slam!
Yeah.
Attack the gate.
And you head out across the bridge. I'm assuming, well, it's basically the closest gate, and this heads onto that the lumber mill, the lumber area and farms to the north and east, which is the fields that you cross through. And you carry his body off into the dark across this, like I say, this cleared area where it's now being given over to wheat and barley and that sort of thing, and head towards the tree line in the absolute pitch black. Your cloak is still with you. The exertion, though not in any way really taxing because of his lightness, isn't helping you generate body heat. But your cloak is there to protect you from it as the chill starts to come in. What are you doing in the meantime?
Warming up fundamentally is the first thing because I need to get warm. There's no one around in the hall other than there's a few straggler sounds of movement or anything like that, right? And
No, the hall is quiet, locked down. There's the main pit fire is smouldering to generate some heat, but otherwise everyone's retired back to their own rooms. But you know that the hall is guarded on the outside. The king will be in his chambers with his queen, and there will be some servants and slaves. Well, servants because Bjorn doesn't have slaves. Will be sleeping in various different rooms off the main hall.
Right, and my expectation is that Stad should be probably in his room by now because he doesn't like to hang around for the drinking, anyways.
He definitely doesn't like to hang around for the nightly festivities, but of course it's completely up to him. He can come and go as he pleases, yeah, and that's regardless of side tunnels.
Right,
he can just walk out as he sees fit. Even though you are more powerful than him, he is the power here.
Yeah. I would say it was more just an expectation that he's generally he probably wouldn't be in the Great Hall anyways. But
he won't be. No, nobody is.
So he'll be either in his rooms or he'll be out and about doing whatever he wants to do. Because I'm going to go back to my room, and I'm going to try and see if I can sense the bat-like creature that was hanging around earlier last night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to literally sense what's going on with that. I'm literally just casting my my senses out to see whether that feeling of oddness, of something not being right, of something being out of place within the normal natural sphere is still around me, or whether that's...
No, it is, without a shadow of a doubt. The city is under a pall. It's under
it's okay. So it's the entire city. It's not just the
as far as your senses are.
Yeah, yeah.
If you really want to sort of actually go out and actually leave the realm and start
see,
scrying fully, you might get, but it puts you in a seriously dangerous position.
Exactly, because I'm not protected.
The risk would be very high. But just using your normal senses, you can just sense the wrongness, I mean, bear in mind that you are connected to Tal, so you see the way that you sense things is things are natural or unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
Creature can be natural or unnatural. That's how you sense the darker denizens of the realms, of the forests when you've been out there. And you know, apart from things like the war dogs or normal dogs, there's other creatures here. All creatures are of Tal's realm. And you are aware, like all cities that there are, in towns, that there are a lower level class of them. You're not sensing bear and stag and wolf by any means. So you get what you would expect to be in such a large environment. cast your senses out as far as you can normally do so, and you're not picking up on any of the higher realm creatures of Tal's creation. But you, over all of this, and as far as you can, there's an unnatural
Presence, or
presence, yeah.
something's got its focus on us, or
something that's just simply not as of this dimension. Absolutely, it's
Not a
in
part
the
of
area, but it's not. There's no way to pinpoint exactly where it is. You're just aware of its presence, and that presence is that, as like I said, as you considered, it's almost that it's a scent.
Yeah.
A scent of corruption, and it's as far as you can put out without putting yourself at risk.
right. Okay.
It's not stronger. It's not weaker. It's permeates the environment, the air around you.
And so did that sense of that permeating wrongness, was that increased when that creature that Caradak was telling us about, or was it just what I'm trying to work out is, can I still sense that thing, or is it just a general level of the miasma of all wrong?
So remember that at that time you hadn't actively looked, and therefore you had not sensed or tried to.
Right. So I can't necessarily
You don't know what it was like before. He just said there was something. You went, okay, I'm going to attune myself to the environment. You went, there's something wrong with Right Dwarf. There's a corruption about it. It could be this creature. Nobody's seen this creature. Nobody's heard it. It could be that's what it is, or it could be something more
Entirely different.
internal, something that's been here a while, and that because you haven't been able to ascertain if Caradak actually did see anything.
Right. Well, I'm not anticipating that that Caradak was going to be jumping out into the hills for the next 25 miles to find the sacred grove with the small yellow flowers by the side of it. So
to be fair, though, from your point of view, he's outside digging a hole in the prison for all you know.
That's what I mean. So I'm sort of not anticipating he's going to be gone for hours. So I'm sort of like, where the hell is he?
Yep.
And that my position is, after a while, I'm going to be like looking at the fires as burning down. Where the hell is he? And as a consequence, I'm going to go out my room and just to see whether there's any movement outside. I'm not going to go out, but it's like, well,
you go to the main door. You're just in the hall.
Well, I'm in the hall. I'm looking around. I mean, obviously, I know the main hall's guarded. There'll be guards
on the outside.
On the outside, yeah. But I'm just looking just in case he's come back and he's having a few drafts and whatever. It's like,
it's dimly lit. The candles have been allowed to dip low, to be put out. The fire is dipped low, giving off a small amount of heat, as a large pit fire will. But it's it could do with a good stoking if you want to increase it into full flame. But otherwise, there's a few of the servants are bundled up in cloaks near it, that's where they are. That's where they sleep for the heat, but also to be on hand if called upon.
Right. Well, I'll sort of shuffle over to where Erstad's room is, just to ghost near it and get a sense of whether I can hear him, sense him. Is he on the? I know he's on the other side of a door. He would be on the other side of a door, and it's just like, do I hear the sound of like snoring or anything like that? Is he in? For as much as I can tell.
If you just roll for perception.
Oh.
You move to the door.
Well, he can hear, like, if you can hear someone snoring, you're like, he's in there. Oh, yeah, there's someone in there.
You failed. What?
Yeah.
You don't even know that the people are there that you just walked past. You approach the door and you can hear deep breathing.
Right, he's in there.
Yeah.
It was just a casual one. I was like, all right, I'm going to head back to my room and sort of like wait for the 5 or 10 minutes that I expected him to just get down to the river and throw him in. Or whatever he was going to do with it. I didn't realise it was I'm not expecting you to be away for miles. So I'm going to be like... Right. Okay. So I am staying... I will be staying awake because I'm expecting her to come back. Oh, good.
The creature stalks you through the hall. The size of it is staggering. Its black pelt reflecting the timid light from the...
Get out of the way.
Vortex cat. Okay, so you're sitting on the edge of the bed, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Anticipating the swift return of my personal bodyguard.
You make it to the foreboding trail lines. Of course, foreboding to the average forester, not to yourself. In fact, even foresters are hardy breeds. They've got to be to survive in this, but they tend to not go out there at night. In fact, nobody goes out there at night.
You laugh.
Well, no, I was.
I cannot.
It's on the way in. I was trying to look at how the river comes in. See if there's any.
It's to your left, and remember, it's broad. You can't even see the far side of it. Even
Oh,
with light.
So would I be able to walk
Actually, you can.
through.
Sorry.
The idea is to get a small sort of local fishing boat to get out.
You've gone in the complete wrong direction.
Have I gone the wrong way? Okay.
Yeah, apologies. If that was your thought
Yeah.
process, no. That's why when you're going to go out that window. So, no, there's no, you've got to go down the harbour.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the total opposite direction. So, right, okay. So
Maybe I should have made that clear. But no, that's what I was intending to do. Just to find a small fishing boat.
Mm-hmm.
Keep to the shadows, force fishing boat. Just,
Steal one.
Yeah, steal one.
Just borrow it temporarily without asking for permission.
I'm hoping at this time of the night it wouldn't be.
Taking without
So
owner's
there's no,
consent.
it's not a fishing boat. Basically, what you've got is you're going to have small rowing boats, which are
Rowing
used to
boats,
get to and
yeah,
from
yeah.
those vessels that aren't moored up against the actual jetties.
Right.
So they'll come in, they'll offload, and then they'll go further
Okay.
out to allow.
Yeah, well, just a small one.
So there will be some
Yeah.
2, 3 man, 4 man, 6 man. So you pick up one that's going to be a single piece, which is normally used to ferry to and from
Just do
the
one of
larger
those and
vessels.
just row it out to keep our waters and then.
Deep waters of the river. Or you're going out to sea.
Not see, you're not that far.
Paddling out.
Splash. It's all went wrong.
Where is he?
I was going to be really pissed off in 10 years when I make it back after
Oh,
my
look at-
massive life quest.
There's a big white bear.
I guess what happened, Senator. Yeah, it's late,
Talking to a head stuck on a pole. Well, that didn't go well for him.
Okay, yeah, you row out into
Return
the,
as a king.
You row out into the right.
Fleet of ships with horsemen everywhere. You took your time. Nice drag.
So, sorry, yeah.
You row out into the right.
Yeah, I just row out and then dump the bearer's body into the water.
That's me. Take him. Use your ceremonies. Honour him as you see fit. Yeah, okay.
He's probably went through, gone through the sack, looked for see if there's any gold fillings.
Have that. Hey, that's a good tooth. Fits.
I didn't do any of that at all.
You throw, yeah, okay, so.
Biff him over the side. He's now floating on the surface, bobbing around.
The tide's coming in.
Exactly.
Floats past you.
He comes back and
No!
trying to stand on him. Get him down. Get him
It's a race.
Hitting him with an oar.
Honour him as I see fit. Stupid thing. Go down. Ding, ding. The locals are all watching. What's he doing to that body?
Oh, crap, did you see that Victoria?
With a-
Over the jetty. With in that shape. I think it was a emaciated.
Don't, don't upset the Victoria. They'll take you in the river, and even when you're dead, they'll beat you with an oar.
Yeah, you take him out of the rake. The tide takes him. The undercurrent takes his body out, heading west.
I think that little fishing village at the end of the rake is going to go. Another body turns up.
Oh, Look
at the state of that.
We should have made camp north. Then you head back. What's your intentions when you get back to Rythof?
Intentions?
Mhm.
To head back?
Assumably you're heading back.
Yes.
Something like that.
When you get back, what are you doing?
Reporting back?
You're reporting back.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Pat, really? Seriously?
You're sitting on the edge of the bed, or
Yeah, I was like, well, waiting,
and you hear the sounds of butted feet coming down the corridor towards the door.
All right, okay.
Something.
Yeah, that was muted. That was vibrating.
Vibrating.
I'm confused. The Seventh talking. The Victoria's talking about things I have no knowledge of. Was this a quick Twitter break, guys? Just a second. Hashtag lost the plot.
Bad timing.
Hashtag
Hashtag find the Victoria.
Yeah. Hashtag where is he? Hashtag
Find
he's going to get
Caradak.
the back of my hand when he gets in.
You yeah. So
Getting stared at by the cat.
100 different interruptions. Really?
Can I look at mine? Check my phone
Yeah.
out as well.
I was talking to the spirits.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You yeah. What?
Yeah. So yeah, I report back.
Yeah, I hear
I report back to.
You hear the
the December
reinforced leather of butted feet.
I'll take my axe out because I'm not entirely sure what this is coming down, and it's been
Yeah.
quite some time. Quite some time. Right. What happens? Does it come through the door?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
the door opens. Yeah. So you axe in hand.
I do knock before I enter.
There's
Is
a
it-
knock at the door.
Oh. Enter. And I'm looking at him. And how was the enclave?
As you see the remains of a Thuringian comes out of the shadows, face torn, body seems to have been patchworked back together.
He knocked on the door.
And you opened it, and a Thuringian corpse
Oh.
comes through the doorway, launching itself forward, its arm grabbing towards your throat. You take those couple of steps back.
Oh, well, okay. I've got the axe. And whacking it.
The axe slashes into the side of its skull. Most of the bone breaks away where the jaw was, breaking the side. It falls forward, but its bulk drives it forward. Its clawed hand grabs a hold of your throat. You can see the meat has already started to slot away. It's been rotting for a couple of days. But again, you recognise the remains of the Thuringian prince.
Oh,
Yokel.
Yokel.
Jokel. And the wind is driven from your body as he slams you against the wall, and the corpse stench. And bear in mind that it nearly eviscerated this body into pieces when it was shredded by flying shrapnel. What's left seems to, well, not only because he's dead, but your mind is literally rebelling against the stench, the sight. The air's thrust from your body, and the hand crushes onto your throat. Even in life, this Jokel was stronger and faster than you. Now is made no difference, and you can feel your feet scrabbling. The axe is still in your hand. You realise as your mind goes from that moment of terror of you've never experienced this before, and suddenly your intelligence reasserts itself. And yes, you're feeling fear, but there's the weight of the axe in your hand comes back to reminds you that you have something in your hand.
Yep. Okay. Well, I'm gonna smash at the arm that's grasped on me so that I can try and get this thing off that's of immediate danger, and get some space between whatever this thing is and me.
Bring the axe down. It hacks into the flesh of the arm, striking into the bone. Again, striking down. Frenzy trying to bring your arm around to hack. You're catching it around the shoulder because of the actual angle, and you're digging through the meat, and you can feel these claws digging into your throat. You've stars start to form in your eyes as the lack of oxygen, but also from the pain of having your throat crushed. You feel a blow to your side, which you feel your physical body move, and you feel that pain, but the fear and adrenaline ignores that beyond I've just been struck, been punched. As the final axe tears through the final part of the muscle, its own weight then tears sinew and tendons, and the arm falls, is literally cut away. The sudden release of that arm pinning you against the wall brings the body, which slams against you, and you're able to move out to one side.
Right.
Because it's sudden overbodied, it's overweighted front without holding itself forward.
Yeah.
And it falls forward, hits the floor and starts to turn. It's lying on the ground. You see one arm's grabbing the wall, and a set of drawers trying to pull itself up. Its jaws completely missing and hanging off the side.
So is it lying face down, or
its back? On its back, scrambling, grabbing at the side, trying to pull itself up.
Right. Well, I'll start laying at it. Okay. So is this thing still on my throat, or is it off?
No, the arm fell away.
Arm fell away. Right. I'm going to start hacking at it with the like at the other arm, the one that's trying to pull itself up, like fingers, anything that allows it to get purchase.
Okay. You hack at its arm, and very quick now with full capability.
Yeah.
You're swinging through after 2 or 3 hacks with the axe. The arm again completely severs, and the body slams back onto the ground. But as it hits the ground, of course, it sits up. But it has no ability to grab purchase, so it's on the floor.
Right.
It's not capable. Straight away as you step back, you're panting, you're breathing hard.
Right.
Your throat is burning. You can feel this pain in your left side. There's no blood. There's just it's coagulated. It's rot. It's stench of death is all around you. It's lying on the ground and rolls, but it doesn't seem to be capable of working out of how to stand up again.
Right. If he left his spear.
He left everything in here.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and grab his spear, and I'm going to ram it. And what I'm trying to do is pin it down like a butterfly against like just ram it so I want this thing pinioned. I'm not trying to kill it. Kill it. I'm not trying to.
You ram your spear through its chest into the ground, pinning it to the ground.
I'm trying to get it pinned here.
Scramble. Its feet are sort of kicking for purchase, but it's unable to break from.
I've ruined your spear, sorry, mate. My favourite spear, covered in stink. And then have I got my voice back? Or is it? So I've got. I'm capable of right.
You are, but you've been. your throat is it's been crushed, so you could feel real heavy duty pain in the back of your throat,
Right.
your thorax.
If there's any way I can get sort of my vocal cords, I'm going to shout guards.
Yeah, guards.
Yeah.
Guards. You've suffered throat trauma.
Well, I'm shouting.
You
Look at my side.
Welling through the material.
Is it a sign of something in there, or was it just his hand that caused that damage? Is it?
Can't tell.
There's no sign of a knife or a...
No.
Right, but I'm bleeding through.
You are.
Right, okay, well, I'll carry on shouting guards. Oh,
Okay.
croaking guards.
Staying in the same position, or you're heading away from you?
No, I'm still watching it. I'm on this thing, yeah.
Right, well, you all go, God! You can't quite force it out.
So, is it likely to be a noise that someone's going to hear, is what I mean?
At this point in time, your mind's not really focused on that. You're just calling out as you sort of, you possibly, at this point, you're like you're back against the wall, looking like trying to get your mind to refocus and become a Semenithai again, as opposed to a survival moment.
Yeah.
Adrenaline's pumping away. You've not been traumatized. You've not been struck like this before. And you are aware that your body's in a traumatic place now. You've been injured. Your throat's burning. You're calling God, while still looking at the horror that's on the ground, just moving backwards and forwards, its legs making a little bit of motion. You hear behind you more booted feet coming down the corridor towards your room.
Right, well, I'm going to move myself away so they're not behind me. So I want to be able to see what comes through that door. Have I still got my axe?
Yes.
Right, I'm holding on to my axe.
You turn to the doorway. As you come down the corridor, you can see his door's open. You hear as you enter the door, as you get to the start of the corridor, you can hear
Rushing.
Immediately. At the last moment, those buttered feet start running, and he bursts into the room. Have you prepared yourself in any way, or you just sort of?
No, I'm hearing that I'm running. That's my first intention, is just to run as fast as I can to get in that room.
He runs into the room. You see straight away that there's some kind of body, legs kicking feebly. You notice your spear through its chest. It's been dismembered. Its arms are on either side. You recognise the rotting corpse of Jokel. Its jaw's been ripped off. Its arms have been hacked away, and it's pinned to the ground. But with your spear to the left near the fire, you see your Semenithai. Immediately, you can see cuts and blood around his throat has darkened the material, the wool of his tunic, and you can also see there's a tear in the left side of his tunic, and again you can see the darkness of blood in the side and down his leggings. And he's standing there with an axe which got bits of meat and blood hanging on it. His eyes are slightly wider than you've ever seen before. His teeth are bared. You can see you recognise the sort of the appearance of someone in full fight mode.
Master.
Yeah.
So look, take that in for a moment, see the injuries, and I look over, just walk over, put my feet on his chest, get my sword out, and just behead him.
Okay. The body.
Behead it. I don't know what it is.
So it's a double blade.
Does it look like, as far as I'm concerned, does it just look like? Do I recognize it, or it is?
So based on your training, your life, what you've experienced, you see things as you don't question it. You don't for a moment go.
No, I mean, do I recognize as a Thuringian, the Joker? Yeah, that's what I meant.
You recognize Jokel. You recognize the injuries and the fact that he's dead.
Yeah.
And you just take it in your stride as you walk forward. Go. There's a dead body. You're not even questioning. There's a dead body moving around. It's attacked the Semenithai. That's not for you to worry about. There's a threat. It's hurt the Semenithai. You walk over.
Yeah, I know. I get that. It wasn't. I wasn't thinking about anything. It was just, I understand that the Semenithai has been hurt.
Yep.
And I just want my instinct just to go in there and finish it off.
Okay.
It was just whether I recognize that it was Joker.
You know exactly what
yeah,
it is,
I don't know what it is. That's fine.
And you bring your unsheath your sword. You bring it down. One clear swoop swing. You decapitate the head. Whether this jaw is broken and hanging off, or if it's dead, it doesn't really. Again, you're not questioning whether you can hear it or not. You decapitate, but the legs do not, even for a moment, skip a beat. Where the arms are, you can see the fists are clenched.
Seeing that he's fixed and rooted, impaled,
Absolutely,
he's not going to move. I'll walk over to the Semenithai. I'll kneel down.
Right.
In front of you.
Right. I need help.
I'll
You know,
I'll help you. Help
I
you.
need medical attention. I guess is the best thing.
He croaks out of his tortured throat.
I'll help you. I'll help the Semnathai up. Which and carry him if needs be. I don't know if he. I'll judge whether he's able to stand.
You are, you've got strength. You see what's going on. You realise that the creature, though still obviously a threat, is not an immediate threat at this point. You're aware that you've obviously got 2 injuries. One, though painful, is you suspect is not life-threatening, which is the throat. You don't know about the one to the side because you don't know the depth with which whatever struck you has gone or its side effects. But you do still have that strength. You've got that adrenaline bursting through your body. He obviously moves forward and he goes Semnathai, and he just immediately, where you're leaning against the wall, just brings you upright into a standing position. But you can't tear your eyes away from this thing on the floor. And nothing has prepared you for this. You've never seen anything like it.
Right. So I'll croak. I need healer. I need someone to help me with this. But I want this thing watched. I don't want it disappearing. I don't want it getting up and causing any more damage or anything. We need to keep an eye on this thing.
Let's get you seen to, Master. Take care of it.
Okay. Well,
I'll lead you out.
who?
Shop.
Oh, right. Okay.
Pulls you out in the hall. The guards come running immediately. See the state of the Semnathai.
The Semnathai needs help. Get you healed.
One of them runs down the opposite side of the hall towards Erstat's chambers. The king at that point appears. You see the queen, robed and still heavily pregnant, obviously, comes looking out. What's the meaning of this? What's going on? My friend! More blankets! More blankets! You! Into the room! What's happening? What's happening? Guards go running down. The queen comes forward as you're helped to a seating position. Somehow you didn't see her. She produces a goblet of some kind of liquid.
Right. I'll crack into that.
The king's standing there, imperious.
So once Semnathai is seen to, I'll immediately go back to the room.
When you mean seen, are you waiting for Erstat or are you waiting like now? The king's by him, the queen's faffing over him. The guards have went off down to the Semnathai's rooms.
Yeah.
Another one's gone for Erstat.
I'll wait for Erstat. Yeah.
Right, Erstat comes along, bleary-eyed. You can see him pulling a robe around him. He takes one look at the Semnathai and turns and walks back into his room. The king is off picking out his getting his sword. Doesn't know there's a threat somewhere. I need to stab something.
Number 3. I'll use the number.
Yeah. The guards. One of the guards come back from your room. He's the colour's drained from his face. He seems to have lost his spear at some point. He sort of staggers out and falls against one of the benches near your corridor. Literally, life is drained from his face. You drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
The queen's faffing over your side.
Yeah, I'm like, look after me. I'm the centre of attention.
You're standing there.
So, apart from the Zaknik walking away, is it almost as I looked at him and ignored him and just went back? Oh, I don't know.
That's exactly what you saw.
I am, as far as I'm concerned right now, Semnathai is being seen to. I don't want that thing, whatever's in there, to either disappear or enter the room.
Right, you pass by one of the 2 guards that went down there. One guard has come back, face pale. You get towards the door, you can see where he's dropped his spear. The other one, on the other hand, is still there. Again, his colour is drained from his face. He's got his shield up and his spear that he's sort of stabbing it and then stepping back. As you walk in, he's, oh! By the gods, what is this thing?
I'll go in. I will remove its legs.
Right.
To stop it from squirming.
Thump. You can hear the chopping sound of a sword being used.
And put the rest of pick up the head and the fire.
Arms, legs, and head in the fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Now the fire's there and it has been stoked. Right. Okay. Zaknik comes back. He's got it's a small box with a leather strap which goes around the neck. You can see it sort of sits at the waist level. He's got it open. He roots through it. He brings out some bandages. You can see he's got some roots, some ingredients that you know are meant for cleansing, primarily. And he looks towards your throat. From the smell of things that he's crushing together, and he puts near the fire, he adds a little bit of liquid. From that smell, you know it's a numbing agent, and it helps with the healing. And he's daubing at it. While he's doing that, he's going, the superficial wounds, scratches almost. There doesn't seem to be any corruption. I shall numb them and help the healing, my lord. Your throat will is bruised.
Yeah.
It will take a few days before you're able to get your full voice back. That's what he's doing. Meanwhile, while you're doing that,
Meanwhile, back into dissection class.
and there you can see.
Doobie.
After doing that, he moves on to your side. You cut away at some of the material, putting it back. You flinch. You're looking down, and you can see what appears to be heavy bruising, where you've been hit with something that's fairly blunt, but the trauma was such, the strength such that it tore the skin. It hasn't got the slice mark of a knife, something that literally, that has torn through the flesh. It does look quite deep. You're almost chewing through your teeth as he's prodding at the side. You're like,
yeah. Does this hurt? Not as much as it's going to be when I get better with you.
Hold him down. You
never the word you want to hear from a doctor. You better brace him. Just bite on that piece of wood. Isn't going to go well.
You're laid down on
I
the
used to be a dancer.
You're handed a stout branch of something to bite upon, a piece of leather, in fact.
Yeah.
Bite upon this.
Ooh.
We have to act quick. Hold him down, and warriors move forward, listen to what he's got to say.
Yeah.
No matter what he says, even though he is Semnathai, I too am, and I shall take his anger upon myself, but we must act quickly to remake, otherwise he will not survive. And you are held down. You're biting down on the leather strap. You hear someone scream in agony. Echo down the hall.
Is this the body
The
still?
torso's
The
still
torso's
there.
still there. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'll pull away the spear.
Okay.
Did it move at
Nope.
all? Nothing. I'll just watch it. I just want to make sure that what happened here.
You hear another scream
Okay.
of agony.
Let's turn to the god. So I'll pull away the spear. Make sure you watch it.
There's nothing else to look at. You see him move to the bed, pull off one of the blankets, and just throw it over the top.
Don't let anyone in.
Right.
Fast. Head back into the hall where the Semnathai is.
You see a crowd of people where the Semnathai was. You quickly
What's happening
pace,
here?
and you see the Semnathai is being held down bodily, salted. His body has been touched by 4 of the Umborogan tribe warriors. You see the queen is nearby, but you can see his pale face is lying there. Arms are literally just being held in check by muscle, lying completely and totally blasted effectively across the bench. His eyes are rolled up in his head, his mouth's open. You see there's some bloodied leather on the floor, blood pools in his beard. You can see that there's this thick grey material that's on his throat and underneath his chin. His top has been thrown back. There's blood dripping on the floor. A couple of servants are trying to dap at it, and you can see the Zakonik is apparently got a knife up to the hilt in the Semnathai's guts. That's in that moment. He pulls the knife out, drops it to the floor. You can see what appears to be like a purple tinge to the blood, and a wisp of smoke come from the blade as it hits the ground. He then thrusts the first part of his hand into the Semnathai's open wound. You see the Semnathai is completely unconscious at this stage. He then pulls out what appears, you can see something wiggling, and throws it in the fire, which gives off a hiss and a pop sound, and the room is filled with the smell of stench and death. He falls back. Cauterize the wound. Keep it sealed. Oh, you can see he's gone pale. Bags seem to have formed under his eyes. You see around the area, there's actually frost that have gone up the side of the walls. There's a coldness. You sense that the power of the gods has been used. One of the warriors takes a blade that's been heated in the fire and sticks it to where the wound's been held. Sticks it in the smell of charred flesh. Pushes the corruption away.
I'm not in for a good time when I wake up. Have I been Arvin's? No.
Oh, where's my kidney? There's blood everywhere. They put his clothing back over him. It hasn't. It's not like it's been hacked all the way up and he's opened up. It's but it'll need repairing. And blankets are pulled. Shall we put him to his room? You're the only one that's been in there.
I'll remove my hands from the hilts of my sword. Like you can see the whites of my knuckles because just walking in on that, trying to get it all in, take it all in. Yeah. Pick up the scimitar.
Okay. Nobody gets in your way. Nobody tries to stop you. The king walks up behind you. Tonight I shall stand guard. None shall pass over my body. As he pulls the door closed. You lay him down on the bed. The smell of burning corrupted flesh is strong.
I was going to say it'd be stinking in here because an arm, two arms, two legs, and a head roasting merrily on the fire. as I come to, oh my God, what's that?
The way somebody goes, quick, try and eat some of this. No!
I'm in Moore's realm. Where am I? Just as the half-burned dead thing staring at me with its one eye.
Tar, you're so practical.
It's all right. At least I pinned that thing to the ground, and then we can find out you've done what to it. Oh, I chopped it into bits and put on your fire to warm your room. Right, I'll be needing another room then, won't I? That's gonna take months to come out of the sheets. The very walls are permeated with the smell of rotting Thuringian.
Nice and homely now.
If your home's a cesspit, yes.
You lay him on the bed.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm unconscious.
You're unconscious.
My nose isn't working at this stage.
Stop talking in your sleep.
Oh, wake up! You're actually projecting over your body.
just a ghostly image just swiping wildly. Oh,
It's drafty in here.
when I get hands.
So yeah,
I've just got visions in this head like.
probably yeah.
Just a half-charred Thuringian like standing. Like, what the hell's that?
I lay down in bed, make him comfortable.
Grab a few of all of those,
Yeah.
put them over his.
Keep him warm, keep him comfortable.
Yeah.
What's my mental state when I wake up and see that mess in my fire? What about that?
After some time, the door opens and Erstat steps through the door. You can see that the king is still on the other side of it. The door is closed. Erstat walks over, pulls the sheet back, looks at his throat, pulls the material of his tunic to one side, looks at the cauterized wound, placing everything back together. He will not suffer corruption. The wounds will heal, but I cannot tell you how long it will be. In the meantime, by all means stay here, but tell me of what happened. It stinks in here. Is it an afterthought?
Yes.
What is that? And turns and looks into the fire.
Sees the horror that's in the fire.
Looks at you. I think you need to explain yourself.
Point to the sheet.
The wiggly torsos.
Yeah, with the torso.
You just pointed at a sheet rumbled on the floor.
Yeah, I realised. I have this moment clearly. Forgot who was in the room there for a second.
Did you
Go on then.
Did you give him a shaky finger as well?
Go on then. Silly. Right. Okay, I do that without thinking. And then
He looks at it, looks at you.
Looks at the finger. Should I take it off at the knuckle or your wrist? What's coming up? Yeah.
no.
Yeah, your eyes widen as you.
So I
stand
stand to attention, and I go over
The
to
room goes slightly smellier.
the sheet, pull it aside.
He walks around, looks down at the corpse. Yes,
This is what caused it.
this makes.
This is Jokel. Thought he was dead.
he would smell and appear to be so.
Is it dead again?
Dead again. He walks over to the fire, gets one of the
Tongs?
the tongs and sort of prods it a bit. I think you're going to have to open the window.
Well, we can expect Yokel to come through the door, obviously. Everyone turns and looks at the door.
Even the cat did.
Even the cat.
You will have to open this window and explain why his chambers smell of corruption. So you did this? He walks over to the body with the prong still in his hand, pokes it. Doesn't seem to be evidence of life in this creature yet. Tell me what happened.
I was off duty. I returned. Check on my master.
Off duty. Lactarians have off duty times. Where were you?
Just by the dock.
Why?
I like to walk the dock.
You have spare time?
It's a problem.
Yes. Clearly. Continue.
I returned and found my master state that he already pinned to the floor with my spear, so I believe
Your
my
master was?
I think my master. I finished.
So it appears yet again when your master needed you, you weren't there. Because you allowed spare time. I'll be interested when I speak to
My master had other orders of
Soviet. And what were those orders?
we'll have to solve it.
And if he does not waken, I
And
shall
then
pull it from your screaming throat.
then
I'll
there-
ask you one more time. What were the orders? You feel the chill in the room start to fill. You see he starts to puff his chest. His lips start to pull back from his teeth. There's a clear sign of his anger.
I mean not to suspect Semnitha.
He's slammed up against the wall. His arms don't move. You always always noted that when Ulmakor does anything, his arms move when he pulls upon the power of the god. Again, you see that Urstat doesn't seem to have to make any visible movements before the powers manifest. You're slammed against the wall. You're capable of talk, but your arms, legs, your body is pinned. You cannot move against his inexorable strength. Yet there's no pain. I will turn you inside out. You will feel your master ultimately. Why were you at the docks?
I've already explained Semnitha off duty. I like to venture in the drink.
You said it was orders. What were the orders? Start feeling pain in your arms as they're slowly dragged forward. You're not even resisting at all, and yet he's causing you pain just to move your hands closer. They're moved into a position as if to be bound, and you can feel this pain on both wrists of the tightest manacles, yet there's nothing visible. Your feet also start to come together. I can see that you and I are going to have to spend some private time together. He steps to the door while you're still pinned to the wall. Call for Arvid. The king, you can vaguely see through the doorway, nods, shouts, "Call for the foreigner!" That walks back over to stand above your master.
Am I still pinned?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You feel like you can still talk. What have you done to your master, my master? Ingvar will not be pleased. I shall have to commune with Ingvar, because only Ingvar can tell me of what I should do. Soviet is above my power, but if he is not to survive, if he is to die in such a place,
I'll
I did
happily
nothing.
die with him. Semnitha.
You will. I fear that your death will take long. He succumbs to his injuries because you were not willing to communicate when directly told by the Sakanik. You just don't know your place.
I understand.
He closes the door. No, I don't think you do. I have a feeling that the Umberogans, and his eyes narrow as he looks at you, will suffer greatly for your disobedience. Yes, I feel the gods will punish the Umberogans deeply for you disobeying me and not telling me what I wish to know.
I am
Because
following
it's-
orders, Darkenik.
And you just interrupted me. You feel a sharp pain in your left hand. You hear the sounds of broken bones, though you feel no movement. You just feel your bones snap in your hand. You're capable of handling that pain, but the message is clear. Do not speak, otherwise I may actually lose my temper. He seems to just go into some kind of trance. You stand above your master's body. He seems, Ulmakor is breathing deeply. You're held against the wall. Again, you still feel like you can talk if needs be. Arvid steps into the room. We have another Vaktaria that needs to be told the error of his ways. Like his predecessor, it is likely that he just won't learn in time. Take him and teach him like you taught the last one. Obey me. That's what you want. The voice doesn't have the fear and respect, but again, you're getting used to that with Arvid. If that's what you want, I would advise against it. If the Seminathai should wake, he cannot and will not do anything about it. This is a creature. Why do you feel that this creature is somehow important to Ulmakor? We are all here at Visok's bidding. And Ingvar clearly supports me in this. Take him away. Begin work on him immediately. I shall explain to Ulmakor upon his awakening what has happened to his creature. They have to be punished when they step out of line. Send word as well, I want more Thuringians here. I want them before the end of the moon. King Bjorn, prepare Alvar. Tomorrow we shall be sacrificing him. I fear that we have taken too long, and Ulrich is calling upon it. The time is upon us. There are things here that are happening. They are all punishments for you, King. We will not be delayed further. And he walks out the room. You feel yourself lowered to the floor, but your arms are bound, though there's nothing visible. Arvid walks over to you. Should have took my offer. Come. And he's a big, strong man. He just takes a hold of one of your arms and he starts leading you down the corridor. You head down the corridor, across the main hall. The hall is full. There's warriors. They all look upon you. They look upon Erstadt. They look at Arvid. They've got as much fear for Arvid on their eyes as they do for Erstadt. The king seems to be completely oblivious to it, though. He frowns as you're led past.
So
back in.
I look at the king. Says a walk.
You can see there's that sort of. It's not confused. It's concerned. Like, I'm not comfortable with this. You can see there is that in his eyes. Not comfortable with this. You know that he just had news. I'm executing your old friend tomorrow. I'm going to sacrifice him. Sorry to Ulrich. That's obviously a problem. That's going to be concerned. That's upsetting. But you can see that he is like, I'm not happy with what's going on here.
So I will not break gaze at the last moment before we sort of break away. I'll say, tell my master, sorry if never mind.
As you're led around the corner, the voice of the king, heard easily over the crowded cacophony of people talking about, telling the story of what's going on, surrounding the blood splash of where Semnathai was, operated on, and all that sort of stuff. And the king's voice cuts across it all. Not only that, but I shall make sure all those that hold you dear know of your courage and bravery. You're led out. It's the last thing you see as you're looking over your shoulder as you're taken from the room and led down through the streets. There's a couple of men are with Arvid, but don't they approach him as he leaves the main hall. You recognise two of the four of them anyway. They're heavily cloaked. You can see muscular daggers, leather armor, that sort of thing. Two of them are two of the guys that you saw on the door when you were previously there. Then you're led down towards, directly to Arvid's rooms, building. You wake as if from a dream that you can't recall. You know that there was pain. You have a visual of a woman. Her face is pure white, almost as if crafted from stone. But you know she was living, or is living. She's in a white cloth of the finest material. And you see her on a plinth inside a crystal coffin. The only memory you have. You seem to remember talking to her, but there was anger. There was a severity in the talk, in the conversation.
From me to her, or the other way around?
The other way around.
Right.
There was no love. There was no warmth. But neither was there a darkness behind it. It was as if talking to someone that literally just had information to pass, but had no actual care for you. Realised that there was a journey to be taken almost, that you were not that important beyond your part in it. There was no love there, just that something needed to be done, but you have no idea. You cannot remember as you come. There's noise, roaring, noise, and you come waking into the room. Sunlight comes in through your open windows. The first time the windows have been wide open. The chill in the air is strong. You're weak, but capable of moving if needs be. You can feel that there is strength there.
Other than this half memory dream of this white woman, what's my last memory of sort of reality, if I can call it that? With
your last waking memory, is falling unconscious in pain. You were trying to remove yourself, but you just didn't have enough time to complete the incantation.
Right.
As a sharing hot pain erupted through your body, and you just blank out.
Right. Okay.
So
I remember everything up to the point where I was operated on, as it were. Right. Okay.
You are freshly bandaged. You are bare chested. Well, you're naked, but there is heavy bandaging around your body.
Is there a smell?
You've also been cleaned.
Right. I'm looking around to see whether So I'm lying flat down, or I'm propped up. Can I see the room? Lying, looking straight at the ceiling.
Correct, yes.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll try and sort of like push myself up on me.
Huge pain.
Right. I'll start.
Going across from the left hand side. It hasn't. It's you're capable of sitting up.
Right.
But you have had some abdominal trauma to the left side. It's mainly in the meat.
Right.
Lucky enough. You are aware of the anatomy of the human body, and you can feel the pain, the trauma, the bruising. But the fact that you're sitting up, capable of even getting that point without screaming, you're thinking, I have actually been lucky, and I haven't had any muscles severed.
Is there is from that sort of like shuffled up position as a sign of the pin down thing?
Your room does not have any evidence at all of any conflict.
Okay.
Those parts of the room, dishes, whatever that were damaged, nothing. There's no evidence of a fight.
No evidence of a fight at all?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
By the way that the sun is angling and its light reflecting through your window, you would say it's around midday.
So I've been out for a good 12 hours.
Or weeks. You have no idea. You just know it's midday.
Well, I'm presuming it's the same day. Yeah. I'm presuming. I look outside and there's just a Statue of Liberty and like on the sun. No, what have you done? Oh, it's been a while. Apes on horses. Right. Okay. I'm going to try some calming meditation. Calming.
You look surprised from this angle.
Yeah. Meditative exercises to see if I can numb and calm down
mask the pain.
Yeah, to mask it. I know that whilst we can heal ourselves, it's just needs time, and I'm not a healing expert. Cat pack.
The Zakanic is definitely at the level, or that you assume, but you know of her stat is herbal stitches and cauterization. There are people that are more trained in the arts that can actually call upon it's not the power, but the favor of the gods and actually heal without pain or worry. You have.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah,
that's not my skill set. What are you good? I'm good at kaplunk. Oh, yeah. Fantastic! Like so, it's perfunctory, but it does the job. But it's not. I'm going to be bruised for some time.
Correct. Yeah. So we, you know that he's obviously done something because there is. You'll take a moment to look, no doubt.
Yeah.
There is no puffiness, there's no redness.
Mm.
The wound is very well protected. So he's obviously called upon Tal potentially.
It's a clean wound, but it's going to take a while to heal.
It's being cleansed.
Yeah.
You're not going to suffer from secondary infection
Infections.
and death, which
Right.
that sort of wound could easily have killed any warrior normally. Especially is from what you vaguely recall, potentially is you were attacked by a corpse, and that in itself generally would probably infect.
Yeah, it's probably who probably didn't wash his hands.
Yeah, and he was definitely deep inside your worry zone.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, I mean, can I move around? Or,
Yes,
but-
slowly.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take some time
Not
to.
geriatric slow.
I'm going to take some time to
numb yourself.
to numb myself
Yeah,
so
you can
so
move
that I
freely.
can actually move without ripping stitches or I don't
You can
want
move
to.
freely.
Today is not the day to learn to dance.
Yeah.
Whee.
As you move forward, you feel like your neck is stiff, and you've got bandages that have been obviously wet and then applied, and they've dried into a fairly solid support around your neck. So you are sort of like being supported.
I'm going to try out my voice, see how that's doing. Just like see, have I got a voice?
So it's a voice of I'm thirsty. I need to rehydrate here.
Yeah.
Dry throat. But your vocal cords are bruised. So it's
Right.
that's you are.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm just seeing how much of a voice I've got.
Yeah.
I'll look around for a drink of water, seeing as I'm feeling.
Beside you, there's a bed. There's a basin with fresh water and some petals in it, not for the drinking.
Not for the drinking.
There is also a jug. You can see that's got some fruit, wine, and water jugs.
Pour myself that. Turns out that's my bedpan. Ah, not for the drinking.
Not again.
Yeah.
So you go for the wine, the water, or the fruit juice.
I think I'll go for the water.
Okay, you quench your thirst. You let it trickle down your ravaged throat as you realise gulping is painful. And you let it trickle down, easing the dryness in your mouth. And then after a while, you're able to take more powerful sips and swallow. And you exercise your throat to relax it.
I'll call for Caradak.
The door opens and a very tired-looking king, Bjorn, comes around, puts his head on the corner. You're awake, my friend. Call for Erstad!
I'll say, he's there. Bjorn, where's Caradak? Where's my Factory?
Looks to the door. He's being punished by Zakonik. He's been handed over to Arvid for punishment. He's been with them some time now.
What did he do?
He failed you, and also he disobeyed the Zakonik.
I'll just let that.
I don't know. All I know is that the man is a good man, but I fear for what will have come of him now. Erstad is not a forgiving man. There is a darkness in him. Normally, if he was not Semnithai, these are the people that we'd weigh down and throw in the bay. But he is Semnithai, and above, he is one with the gods.
I shall talk to Erstad to find out what transpired between me leaving this room and me returning to the room. But thank you for standing.
As you're croaking
Yeah,
away at him.
Thank you for standing station over me during the how long?
Yes, I would.
How long have I been out for?
All morning. It is close to our midday meal. So a few hours.
I'll lie back in my my bed and just like, well, I'm gonna let people come to me now.
After a while, Erstad walks into the room.
Right.
I'm glad. As I said, King, you can easily relax now. Go catch up on some sleep. Your men will look after the Semnithai. I myself will make sure I will ward the room. Nothing can happen to your old friend. The king stares at you. I will stay and I will guard you until such time as I collapse. I am not as powerful. I am not as capable as the Vakhtari, but I shall look after you, if that is your wish. You can see he's rim-eyed. He's not as young as he used to be.
No, yeah, Bjorn, it's I appreciate your sentiment, but I think I'll be safe now. I am with a fellow Semnithai, and surrounded by your men. You probably could do with some sleep. I need you fresh for later on. I'm croaking this out, obviously. Like
yes. We are close. We are in final preparation for Alvar's transcendence. I shall go and see my friend. Call if you need me. There is no sleep for me tonight.
Cool.
And he walks out.
Right, I'll turn to Erstad. And-
No, yeah, just talk as you need to, and he's friendlying with your bandages.
Right, okay.
You can feel that the coolness hit the throat, that sort of sting, coming on very well indeed. Tal shines upon his son.
This is not going to hurt. It is going to hurt, you liar.
Even with the numbing cantations, yeah, they didn't take into account the extra prodding.
Yeah.
Go on, you've got something to say, my lord.
Does this hurt? What happened last night? What was that thing? Where is that thing?
We've had it taken to where we stored the Thuringians. It seemed fitting. Your Caradak, he burnt the limbs and the head. The torso is non-responsive. I've got it there for when you regain your strength, but it's beyond my learnings.
He burnt.
I never studied the art of the dead and the transcendent.
He burnt the.
Yes. The queen herself cleared out the fire pit.
Huh.
Don't worry, he's being punished as we speak. We'll have to call for another Bactara, of course.
What's he being punished for exactly?
Well, for stupidity for a start, continuously letting you down, letting you come into harm's way, letting you be injured, and then I told him exactly what I needed from him. I said I wanted to know where he was, why he wasn't beside you. He refused to tell me. I said I need to know. He said you should ask. He told me I should ask you. You're unconscious. You might not have recovered. He has withheld information that could have led to the creation of this creature, of any of this information that could have helped. But he said I was given orders. I said you need to tell me, and I will then explain to you why. I am Zakarik, I am Semnithai. He refuses to acknowledge my power, and therefore I have handed him over to my good friend Arvid to punish. He shall be, unfortunately, unable to continue his duties when he's finished, but he is, after all, just one of many, isn't he?
Is that a permanent situation with this punishment, or will
it is by the end of it.
Next week, Cortex Holt.
Hello.
No, sorry, not next week. This does not please me. I
bet it doesn't.
I would speak. I find that you can get more information when the subject's capable of speaking than when his tongue has been removed from his head.
Oh, we won't get that's the final part. When we have no longer need to listen to their crying and their warbling. I like to know that they can hear themselves scream, to take away their ability to actually control it, so that they hear their own voices. But once we're done, it's the last thing to go before we take it that extra step further and sacrifice them slowly.
I want to speak to him. I want to know what's going on. I want to look into his mind. I want to find.
Of course, I shall have a litter drawn up, and you can be taken there if you feel that you are able. The wound itself could have been a lot worse. It should have ended you. But I, Erstad Drago, managed to save your life and remove the corruption that was within.
What was the corruption? What exactly was it?
It was a piece of the creature. It had broken off inside. It was alive and worming its way deeper. It would have cost you your life, but I saved your life. So of it. I, Erstad, a mere Sakarik. Here to serve you as they are there to serve me. His voice raises for an audience that you can't see.
And while I appreciate your endeavours, of which I would not be here, I am concerned that my Vaktari. Did you say he turned against me?
Not turned against you, he just refused to cooperate with me, therefore putting you in danger.
Yes. Bring him to see me before you carry on the more vigorous aspects of the punishment. Bring him to see me, and just I wish to speak and know his mind, and then you can have him.
You'd have him brought to the hall. I cannot attest to
him
being clean enough for the king and the pregnant queen.
Bring him, and shield him so that the more delicate members of the court perhaps don't see him. But I am in no fit state to be taken anywhere, and don't wish to be outside where it's cold and inclement. So a litter, whilst appreciated, I don't think I wish to be transported. Bring him to see me, so I may know his mind, and then we will take it from there. But I appreciate all you've done, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Certainly amongst the other Soviet, I will be speaking your name.
You had to serve,
as we all are, to the gods.
He looks at you for a moment, takes a breath. Right, I shall send word. I shall have the creature brought. Turns and leaves. The doors before closed, you can see there's several. The corridor seems to be somewhat crowded. You can't see down the corridor, but you can see that the shadows and that sense of people being there. There's a fair few Umbarogan guards in the corridor. And he walks off, the door closing behind you. Are you just going to lie there? And
yeah, well, I'm gonna just use any of those meditative spells, conditions, mantras to try and bolster myself and give myself more energy, and I guess try and, if I'm not capable of speeding up the healing process, to speed up the process where I can numb it so that I can function without knowing that if I hadn't have numbed my senses or numbed that aspect, I'd be like incapable due to pain.
Yep.
So it's not so much. It's not going to heal anymore any quicker. That's not what I do, but it's enough that I don't notice the fact that I've got damaged innards and that sort of pain sensation. But I need to be aware that I'm not like ripping stitches and causing more damage because I'm not aware of it. I don't want to numb myself completely. I go, I was walking on a broken leg and I was making it worse, but I didn't know because it was, not that sort of thing.
Okay.
But that's all I'm doing here is because I'm in no fit state to do anything else.
Well, a good hour goes by before the door opens. There's so much movement and noise on the other side of your door, you don't hear the approach of footsteps. And the door is opened, and you see he's obviously been bathed, but Caradak is brought in. He's supported by two heavy-looking, muscular guys, and not wearing any tribal colours. There's, the bruteness of their face and body shape is they're not there for conversation. Definitely free folk. They're wearing working like clothes. You see there's blood stains on there long since dried. And they bring in they bound, chained, manacled Caradak. His face is swollen and bloody. Both eyes bruised, lips thick, nose is broken. There is a blanket has been effectively cut and just thrown over his form. His feet, because he's effectively being dragged. His feet are broken and bloodied. You can see from below the knee, where that's as far as the clothing goes. There's just thick, heavy welts and bruises all over his arms and legs. They bring him in, just drop him. He slumps to the floor. They stand by him. Verstat walks in. He can still talk. He has not had his tongue removed yet.
Is he conscious?
He looks at him, and you sense the flare of power in the room. It's instant, and he's with a groan. He's dragged up in the air as if being held by invisible.
So I see him.
You start looking at him. You just like that. And you see him literally lifted up so that you're lying on the bed. He's suspended, as if his arms and legs are being held. His body is free, but his arms and legs are held, and his head all rises up. His eyes fluttering. You can see they've been split and cut. He's been badly beaten repeatedly for quite some time.
Am I getting a sense of how Erstad's doing this? This is not normal Seventh Eye.
This is well beyond your ability.
Yeah, this is.
You can throw things and people and catch. You know what the ability is, but it's well beyond yours.
I'll turn to Erstad and say, Zakanik, you've been hiding your light and your abilities under a bushel. This is quite an astonishing display of the gods' power that you're currently exhibiting in front of me. Through a crooked. Yeah. Well, whispered voice.
Nothing, Semnith. I have hidden nothing, Sovit. Ingvar is well aware of who and what I am. He sent me here for a reason.
Well,
You should take it up with the Visok if you're surprised by my ability.
So
I mean, no shock or disrespect to you, my lord.
None was given and none was taken. This is just more. It's extraordinary, and perhaps, as I say, that your name needs to be heard more amongst the Soviet than it currently is, because we hadn't known about your talents at this clear display of raw power.
I seek a position on the council only when naturally formed.
Oh, that's spaces appear on the council naturally. It is the history of the council. It's never unnatural. So this was a punishment beating, or were you looking? Did you get any information out of him at all about what happened in between me being attacked by the thing and you arriving? Because I have a blankness between that time.
I've yet to find out. Arvid has not. The speed with which you wanted me here, Arvid has not been able to tell me of anything of great interest. He said, is Victoria, and their punishment has to be long before they forget themselves. So, I suppose it becomes pointless now. Now it is just punishment for the sake of punishment. You are, after all, awake, and he has no information that I need to keep you alive or to make sure that there is no longer a threat against you. Anything he knows, you know. So now I just simply will punish him for being a failure, for being a pointless failure. He is not Victoria, he is just simply meat with which to be toyed with. His punishment will be long, as is the just way, and he shall die screaming. No Ulrich holds for him. He should be left to wander the void, a broken husk, as all Victoria are who fail their masters.
I think that whilst what you've just uttered is just and right and the seventh high way, I think I'm taking it personally that he's wronged myself. I'm not dismissing the wrong that you suffered or making light of it. But I think I'm going to mete out my own punishment on my own failed experiment. I think I will take out personal responsibility in his end. And with that in mind, you may release him to my gentle ministrations. And you need to prepare for tonight's ceremony. The Visok was quite specific on the timing of the sacrifice, and that sacrifice needs to be led by yourself.
I was going to leave him in a state. The Visok has also made it interesting. Today he communicated with me. Opens the door. To the hall! Yeah, the sound of shuffling feet. Scum. Creatures. Like rats. The Visok said that I was to keep him in such a state that he could carry out the sacrifice. That he is to kill. He is to sacrifice Alvar to Ulrich. That will be tonight. There are a few hours left. I was going to leave him in this state, but still capable of wielding a sword. Alvar is to be sacrificed, and he's to do it. I don't know why, but the ceremony is apparently we shall communicate directly with Ulrich during the ceremony, and Ulrich will tell us exactly what and how the sacrifice shall take place. I also get the impression, though I don't want to make any assumptions, of course, of our Grand Visok, but I believe that he has something in store for the Umberogans.
Oh.
So hopefully you'll be able to attend.
Oh,
He certainly will.
I'll be making a tent. He wants it.
Visok demands it. That's why his legs and arms haven't been broken.
He can still wield a sword?
Oh yes, he's only been beaten and kept awake. He's had some hot and pleasant things inserted, but he's still capable to wield a sword, to sacrifice Alvar. And I don't think Visok cares if it's done neatly.
Yes, it's always one of those touchy areas that it needs to appear in the right manner of a ceremony and a sacrifice. It can't look like butchery at its initial stages. You know how these things go.
Unless that is what the Ingvar wishes for Ulrich's message to be.
So it's clearly a message needs to be sent, and I understand the reasoning behind it. Just need to be careful on how. Obviously, we're at the point of delivery, and the point of delivery can sometimes get lost in the distance between here and the enclave. We just need to be a bit cautious on how it happens. But I understand the Visok, and I understand what needs to happen. I'm not entirely sure, but this is the delivery mechanism, though. In this current state, I would.
Not Ingvar's orders. I'll let you communicate with him if you.
Yes,
I am not anywhere near in a position to do so.
But he can still wield a sword, is what I need to know. I can't have this to be a half.
You get lowered. You're suspended. You can feel yourself being held in position while your legs uncramp. You're grimacing. You could cry out in pain, you know that, but you're holding it in. Your legs cramp heavily under the pressure of your own weight. But when you're capable of holding it, you take that one sort of step and you feel the crushing weight of your own body come home as you're released. You stagger and then pure sheer will stand upright. He is capable.
Strikes me that
you feel the power withdraw from the room. Now, you were attacked last night, my lord, by a creature that I have never seen or even known of how it is created. He did his best to destroy the evidence in any way that we could possibly have of tracking its creator. The sacrifice is to go ahead tonight, but your safety and the fact that the king, the Umborogan tribe, and everything that's going on here, the Umborogans will and have to be punished. I put forward to you that we remove the family now, that we exercise our ability that this curse upon the land is their fault, and we remove them. It'll probably gain us favour with Ingvar to move so quickly. But I suggest that we have the king and the queen sacrificed tonight.
The king and the queen sacrificed.
The whole family.
Seem.
But you've been attacked repeatedly. This fell creature that attacked you last night, he's obviously involved. Well, we know why, don't we?
Do we?
Of what Ingvar has told me, you must know. You know why. He's obviously working against the Seventh Eye. He's waited this long to get to the Umborogan tribe. He's made contact with those that would subvert our will. The king obviously runs this. It is all coming together. It must be the king. It must be these that have allowed this creature. They have obviously been involved in something fell. The reason I am here.
If it is as you say, I still think we don't know how they're doing it. There's such a power. I've never seen such a power wielded. And I have seen things, as you can imagine, Nick, that the average Seventh Eye hasn't. And I would know how this has been achieved. This is a talent, a skill, a power that can't just immediately snuff out. Unfortunately, had I been able, in a better state, I was planning to observe that creature to try and work out how it was being knitted together. Unfortunately, my over-exuberant
Bactari to destroy the evidence once it had failed in its mission. After all, where was he not guarding you? He was down at the docks, having engineered perhaps a situation that would mean that he had to leave you.
No, that isn't actually the case. I'm not saying that your suspicions aren't incorrect, but that actually wasn't the case. I had actually dismissed him for the evening and said that he could go and pursue his interests elsewhere. You need to give a dog every once in a while a chance to run, else they become cage bound. And I do that with the Vectari oftentimes, and let them have their head.
So perhaps he then left, went to his conspirators, informed them that you were no longer guarded, so that they would have their opportune moment to strike. My room is boarded. I felt nothing pass by, and yet this creature just materializes. After it came out of its own grave, I have investigated the gravesite. The rest of the Thuringian corpses are still there, including the two that he sacrificed.
And the body, where is that now? Was that disposed of? The torso?
I have made sure that that thing cannot be reused. I've consigned it to the flames like the rest of its body. It was pointless at that stage. There was nothing there. It was literally a corpse.
Leave this thing. Leave.
This is still very dangerous, Sovid.
I am not as weak as I was.
True, but perhaps I should pin it to the floor.
No.
Nails to its feet.
We need to. He needs to be available. He needs to be in some semblance for the sacrifice tonight. We can't have him being dragged there to perform the ceremony. That would convey the wrong message.
As you will. I shall go and continue the preparations for Alvar's sacrifice.
What's he is he in his normal Sacnic? Not in the purple robes, is he?
No, he's in his normal clothes.
Yes, you will need to prepare for the ceremony tonight, and I will meditate on what I shall do with my Vactari, and also how we should proceed with the ceremony specifically vis-a-vis Alvar. And my sense is it's too quick to move on the king and queen. It's too quick, and I think it would be better for them to be sent out in the wilderness, as was originally determined, and for the wilderness to take care of them. At that point, it will look less like it has been done by our hand, more that it's been done by the will of the gods.
I am merely here to do my master's bidding.
As we all are.
He bows and he walks backwards, gets to the door, opens it, closes it, and you hear his slippered feet.
Right, shuffle away
down the corridor.
Right,
You obviously stand there bleeding.
Stand with attention. Just a sec.
You've been in fights before. You've had a kicking before. You are effectively still. You're in pain, but you are effective.
Caradak, I am not as good as certain members of my sect, so you will have to bear with me on this one. It's possibly going to hurt in the short term. Hopefully, it'll have a beneficial effect. I'm going to try that. I'm going to use my meditative aura that I do on myself to numb things, to project that over him, to try and numb some of the pain that's going on there, to try and give him more functionality. It won't repair, won't heal bones, won't heal, but it numbs you so you can't feel it. Or, it's similar to what I've been doing. So I'll start that process on him.
It takes you only a few moments, and you feel the warm numbness literally just come over your body like when you've been cold and you step out into sunlight and you feel that warmth just slowly work its way through the meat and into the bones, and the sense of well-being that comes with it.
Is he chained up still?
No.
Oh, that's all good. Right. Okay. I am unaware what's happened last night. I don't know.
Apologies. His manacles on his wrists are still there, yes.
Oh, his manacles on his wrist. All right.
They've been disconnected because he was pulled out.
Yeah.
We've still got the manacles physically bolted onto his wrists.
So he's cuffed. Oh, he's just got wrist guards.
So basically, the way that manacles are, it's the rounded ones with the metal bars.
Yeah.
They can punch the bars in and out. However, the chains themselves were linked. The one thing you note now is, of course, is they're no longer. The chain hasn't been stretched and snapped, but he is chained. And those chains are as if they were never formed of one. When he raised them up and pulled his arms out, the chains just opened. So the chains dangle, but they are still solid iron links.
Right.
You can see no damage to the links where they went, but they can't be put back together again. It would take a smith to do that.
Right. Once I've finished, sort of.
Just in case you missed that means that the power that he was exuberating, the suspension side of things, something else he has here, which that certain Semnithai have an affinity with stone and metal, with the elements of some kind. Generally, if you're strong in one, you're not in another. He's exhibiting two forms of power in one go,
which is not usual and would have come to the Soviets' attention. Once I've finished numbing him, as it were, and trying to get him that, I'll turn my attentions on to the manacles and take those off.
And clink, hit the floor with a resounding bong.
Right. Is there any food in my drink and all that? Caradak, get yourself something to sort yourself out.
Like some meat pieces, that sort of
and
chicken.
You need to get your strength, and you need to tell me, in between that thing coming in last night and me blacking out, what's been going on, and why are you now being beaten and about to be sacrificed? What on earth did you do?
I'll ignore the food. Still. Zaknik, question me, master. So I feel deserved. I did not let him that we found the Bactari. Why? Truth behind why I was at the door. He wanted it. It wasn't my intention to suspect the Zaknik. Clearly stated. I was ordered. I was on leave. Speak. He spoke the truth.
It takes a moment.
Hope you understand. I would never intend to cause you, put you in. This was not my.
The position, unfortunately, we find ourselves in now is that Erstad has a very good case to have you disposed of.
I don't fear death, master.
It's nothing to do with what you fear or don't fear. It's unfortunate because it means that my power to be able to protect you is now being diminished moment by moment. And our mission, our direction, Vital himself, is being diminished by my inability or my reduction of ability to actually protect you. We need to work out some way by which you can get back into the Semithai's good graces. I need to think about that. I need to think quick. You may have to perform the ceremony tonight. I don't see the value itself. I don't know what communication he's been having with the Visok. If you have to go ahead and do the ceremony tonight, you will give Arvid the warrior's death that he deserves. Not make it protracted. And I will work out some way that will be part of the ceremony. It won't be the normal ceremony of throttling and disemboweling that the gods demand. I think that's necessary. I will meet with the gods on that one. Did you learn anything from Arvid? Well, or was it just a punishment session? Beaten. And why on the gods' names did you dismember and burn that body? I specifically pinned it to the ground and didn't destroy it so I could study it. What was going through your brain on that one?
I saw it to end. Doing that fire that. So
yeah,
realised-
it's too late now anyways. I had hoped to search that body. I have a feeling that there was the talk by Tofi of the black pouches. I was hoping to see whether Jokel had that pouch still on him. We'll never know now. He's consigned to the ashes. I have to think about how we can keep you. We either consign you to being outlawed to get you out of here, and that is not ideal. In which case, won't be sacrificed tonight or later on under Arvid's ministrations and gentle tutoring, but you will be out of the picture close by until we can get out of this town, which will be happening presently, and then you will rejoin us, or I go up against Erstad now. Not ready to go up against Erstad now. How are you feeling in terms of your capabilities of moving? Are you fit and hale, or are you at the point where you can't do anything?
I'm fit.
We have some hours to go before the ceremony tonight. I need to meditate on what we need to do. We either put you out and we make you out external and outlaw you, and you join me when we move out in our journey with the king and queen, and you rejoin us.
Whatever you wish.
Or I find somewhere. The mist's here again. What was the mist? There's something coming for you. Or I challenge. Let me think on this. We have to be careful. There are things going on in this town that I can't quite work out. Did you dispose?
Why don't we speak with our... I feel that outside. I don't think he's completely tied down with Zakany.
You would be right on that one. I'm sure he has his own agenda. The problem we've got in the short term is that your capabilities of moving freely in this town have been severely curtailed. And I need to work out a way of giving you a longer leash than you currently have. Because outside the bounds of this room, you have no ability to walk freely at all if Erstad sees you. So your ability to go and talk to Arvid has been severely curtailed. I, on the other hand, can move around. And tonight you will have to be around to partake in the ceremony. Can't think of any way of breaking that. The cat is visiting me. Really, cat? Seriously, that's the attention you're looking for.
You sense the presence.
I sense it.
listening in on your
I yeah, never mind. I was just waiting for it to just nuzzle that.
Yeah, she was going to.
She was going to. Strange cat.
If I'm outlaw, then to be
Yes.
a Vaktari, protect you.
Not within the confines of this town. External to the town. No, I have it. I am capable of walking, and you're capable of going seeing what's going on with Arvid. Why don't we go together? It's about the best way I can think of it. We will go together to Arvid's to speak to him. And you can tell me your thoughts on what you think Arvid may or may not know. Whilst on the ostensibly, we are taking you back for some more treatments. And I need to think of a way of keeping you alive longer than tonight, because our good friend Erstad would see you sacrificed to the gods immediately after you'd performed in the ceremony. So, am I capable of walking?
Yep, absolutely, yeah.
Right, I've got. Is my axe around, or did that go?
Yes.
All right, put me.
Everything's there that you left. Spears, shields. These are both capable of moving around. You now both look bad.
Yeah.
You still croak.
Yeah.
You look in a hell of a state, but you are otherwise still very much capable as you were before.
Assuming you don't want me in full Vaktari.
No, I don't think I can get away with that.
No, mate, you're literally dressed in a blanket.
Yeah, so I will. Yeah.
Your physical clothing, your armor is in Arvid's establishment.
Okay.
Your shield and spears here.
Well, it's swords.
It's gone.
Gone, yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to use your spear ostensibly as a staff, and I'm going to hold onto the spear and move myself along. Is there any clothing in my room that's other than the sheet that he's currently dressed in that I can give him?
No.
All right. Hairy ass time it is.
You can call upon some. I mean, you are. So
Yeah. No, it's not. It's
I'm dressed in the king's finest gown.
in the Queen's finest
Queen's
gown.
gown.
Just to make it that little
I
bit
just
more.
go naked.
Oh no, I don't want to see that. Oh, I want to unsee that.
Dressed as a woman, my lord.
No.
But otherwise, yeah, no, you can just have him. He literally has just been. It's
Just a-
it's effectively a tattered horse blanket.
Just been thrown over him. Yeah, I'll open the door, and is there a guard there or something?
They're down the other end of the corridor.
I'll just call it when they go. Guards, bring me a spare pair of trews of some sort. I don't wish to see this man's hairy ass for 1 second longer.
It's over. One is off.
Right. No sign of Erstad?
No.
Okay. When he comes back, hopefully it won't take too long for him to come back. Give him a pair of pants.
Yep, not too long passes by, and a pair of trousers and a tunic.
Yeah. Ooh.
Some shoes.
Oh, I don't know about that. God.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he gets all that. Right. Come on, let's get going. Let's get you out
Get
of here.
dressed and we'll go. Make our way.
And so I'm going to be holding onto the spear as if it's a staff while we head towards Arvid's.
You walk out of the main hall. The main hall doesn't look like. Bear in mind that apparently for several hours they've been preparing for a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And though in a lot of cases it would be in the main hall, especially one as grand as this, it doesn't appear that this is where the scene of Alvar's sacrifice will be taking place. As you step out of the main hall, the town looks as busy as it always is, always has been, always is. But there's no evidence of anything being done nearby, and no evidence of Erstad.
So wait a minute, as I'm going through and I'm looking around, is there anyone like serving people, guards knocking around as well?
Yep.
I'll just motion on. Where's the ceremony happening tonight? Has it been
On the northern bank. Right. Okay. We'll take a couple of minutes and then we'll finish off. Apologies. Something obviously important has come about.
okay?
Just bear with me a moment. I will leave you guys to talk, and we will leave it. Where's it taking place? It's taking place on the northern bank.
On the northern bank.
Bum, bum,
Bum, bum, bum, bum,
bum.
bum. It's the northern bank. Is that where you went paddling?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
No, it was when he was first.
Oh, right, okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, okay.
That's obviously
it's an emergency. Emergency now.
Summoned. We'll carry.
If anyone's going to talk, but if not.
Yeah.
I think I was going to say was how he executed. Because
Oh, you know, look, there's more holes in this than a.
Because I mentioned it to you. I told you.
Yeah, there's more
He
holes in
didn't
this
tell
than
me.
a Swiss cheese. I mean, he's just admitted to me that he was the one who finished off the previous one, even though I knew he did it. But he's just told me. He's just flagrantly out and out told me. He didn't care. My biggest thought for you at the moment is how do I get you more able to operate freely? Because at the moment you've got a death sentence over your head that I've got to try and take off without looking as though I'm just giving abject currying. There's only one person who can countenance me, which would be the Visok. And the rest of the Soviet, if they all turned up and said no. So I can't just say no. Just trying to work out a less obvious way of saying no. Or maybe this is the time when Cortex Holt makes his appearance as the new Caradak.
As a new Victoria.
As a new Victoria.
Send me another Victoria.
Yeah, send me another one. And Talbot's taking a brief hiatus from series.
Yeah,
He was let go from series 1.
Yeah, Caradac's getting a great old kicking, isn't he? Each episode.
Yeah, that's where I am currently at. I had hoped you to check his body for those little black parcels. That's not going to happen. We may have to think of some other way. Arvid, I want to. He said they were distributed among other people, but I can't remember where exactly they were. But put this way, Jokel was given one. I was hoping he was still going to have one on him if it was still on his body. I'll never know because it's now become toast.
Didn't burn him.
No, but Erstad did. He said
Dumped it in the.
no, he said burnt it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he say he dumped it because you can have a look?
No, he said he'd put it on a fire.
Put it in a fire because you can check up on it when they were tied up.
Are you sure?
Well, they were tied up last time. Warehouse.
Oh, he said he dumped it.
Because he said I dumped it in fitting.
All right. For some reason, I thought you said better. I wrote stuff down, but didn't. Well, that's where we need to go after we've spoken to Arvid.
I imagine. Who's ever.
Do you know what? I'm gonna have a comfort break.
Oh, well, this is a Talbot show now.
Talbot will now sing.
Talbot will
sing. Talbot, sing. I'll be 2 seconds.
And then there was one.
Yeah.
So, viewers, welcome to Talbot Show. I'm here alone. If anyone wants to chat, this is your chance. Talk to me. Come on. Even hold. If you're on there, if you're not on there, why aren't you? Talk. Speak. You broke it. Everyone's left. Nobody here. Devin's gone for a comfort break. And Kane's gone for a meeting. This doesn't happen often. So don't blame Talbot because Talbot didn't do it. Talbot is trying to survive. Yeah, better not look at that. I've got the power here. I could technically ruin it for myself if I start rummaging around and looking at story and plot points. I'm not supposed to know anything. What would you do? Would you look? Cheat? I haven't cheated yet. No, I'm not looking. I don't like to cheat because it's going to ruin it. It's going to ruin it. It's going to ruin the story. Can't have that. Who? It's all right. I'm on the fort. I'm keeping the stream going.
That needed to happen.
I've lost all the viewers.
Lost all the viewers. What did I say? We'll have to watch it on the view back. I'll be saying, "You said what? What on earth have you been doing?" Was I voguing? Hopefully that's worked okay. If not, forgiveness. If it turns out that was the reason why the audio all went to So, well, look, without we won't delve too much back into the story. I think
I just realised I was like,
yeah, I'll just read everything.
oh my god, I'm sitting in front of all the entire story.
Notes. And then eventually, what we went to the secret hideout on the fish key and opened up the third book on the left.
Paul's saying he knows all the plot points now. So if I suddenly,
yeah, just for no reason,
Caradak totally blew through that entire story, didn't he?
He just worked it all out. Just worked it all out for
like Sherlock. All of a sudden, knows what's happening.
He just went, yeah, okay. I'll go to the door and press that button. What button? The button.
I pull all my XP into investigation.
That's right. Yeah, managed to roll a 00 or whatever. Like, oh yeah, he fluked his perception roll plus 300, and then it turns out it's just a. Yeah. So guys, look at it. Unfortunately, these things do happen. Life impedes on online life. But hey, look, if there's anyone watching this now, feel free. We can start chatting now. If you want.
We can speak. You know what? This is the first time that I can actually see it. Because we don't have a screen for it.
No, we don't have a screen.
I can actually see it for what it is, and it looks great. How good does this look?
No. Sorry, I had to do that for the sake of people who are listening.
Yeah.
Because that would have blown your ears out. Oh.
So for anyone coming in now, we've just taken a brief pause from the story, Rise of the Empire. I think we were pretty much ready to close it off anyway, because...
yeah, I think we were, because I think it's at the
allocated...
It's at the allocated time, so...
4 p.m. time, our local time.
Look at what... I guess what we could just do that anyways now, given the fact it's after 4. We can, if there's anyone there wants to ask any questions, and that way Talbot can stop reading all the plot points and knowing exactly what's going on, and reading and then in scene 4, Talbot will die. What?
No. You speak with have words with the director here.
Yeah,
I'm not happy about it.
Is there anyone who wants to ask any questions? We'll just we'll draw a halt to it now, because it's after 4.
Oh, are you calling it?
Yeah, well, I think so, because it's 4:15 now. And so we would be looking at. So I don't know if Kane wants to finish off a particular scene, but I mean, we're at a point where things could happen. I don't see why.
I can't see any. We're heading to see Arvid.
Yeah, we're trying to work out how we can keep you alive.
I want to see Caradak alive. That's my guy, and I don't know how to do it. It's
maybe I need another week to think of it.
Yeah.
So sometime in Wednesday, go, oh, wait a minute, this cunning plan. I need you to
just be trying to keep hold of my character here. I don't want him to die. To be fair, I thought that was me. Yeah. When I started back chatting him, and I was just like, I'm starting to really take a dislike to this guy, and I'm really doing stuff which I shouldn't be.
Yeah. It's the point on Wednesday when I say I need access to a halibut, 30 foot of rope, and a small candle. Well, we're just saying to the viewers that we're thinking about calling it anyways, because it's 4:15, and just go into our chat mode. Also, just trying to keep Talbot's eyes off all the plot points.
Yeah, I was just like, I've just realised I've got the entire game in front of me. So
you put it down beside you.
Oh, that was actually.
And so we were just thinking, perhaps until the point where he doesn't read everything and then presses the red button in the library. Like, well, how did he know that?
Yeah, Kane will be like, "How he's so fair? How do you know that?
So insightful. It's so unlike
Talbot. Like he's in my mind.
It's like he's suddenly got access to those really high quality protein bars, and now his brain's just on a higher level.
Nice.
It's like magic. So sorry about that, guys. It's just it is what it is. If there's anyone there that's not Holt, your time will come.
Your time will come. So
yeah, we do. There are a fair few people, but I think this is lurking.
Lurking? Don't lurk. Don't be shy.
Shy.
Talk to us. Well, okay. Talk to Talbot. Oh, I'm going to get my phone out, except my phone's so small, but perfectly formed. I won't say that.
So what we got here? So Yeah, we've broken Talbot. I don't know what the cheat bit is. Oh, that's you.
Yeah,
Referring to
because
me
I was
the game
because
does.
I've just realised I've got the
Were you like
entire.
that as well? Or had at least
No,
no.
Is that the most pertinent episode?
I just and that was like,
He was just going through all the sheets going, turns out
Yeah.
it's Mrs. Miggins in the library with a gun.
Well, I was wanting to take that further in tonight's episode, but situation was that it took my.
Never mind.
It would be it's extreme when something comes up that needs to take me from the table.
But it gives
And
me.
it is.
it is.
Yeah, but it gives me a week to come up with a plan, a cunning plan to get Caradak from not being gutted.
And that's the thing, isn't it? So basically, as the episode ends, you've got several hours before the sacrifice is about to take place, and those hours are normally would give you a chance to sort of read it through, but you don't want to sit here for several hours while you try to think of how to deal with this information. So you now have that chance.
Yeah, no, we'll do that.
We'll have the chance for Ulmakor to consider his options, and several hours will have passed, presumably, unless you will go, no, I immediately want to do this. So
Yeah, no.
as the next episode will begin, that will be with you effectively. I think
We're gonna. Well, at the moment we're leaving. We're heading towards Arvid. I'm using the staff and him to get me there, and then it's a case of Arvid. I was talking to Caradak about the body and why he had burnt it, and he said he hasn't burnt the body, and it was like, oh, and so the body still might be the torso. I thought that that Erstad had said it wasn't, so he's told me no. He said he.
So you left the body on the. Sorry, okay. So let's go. We're going third part. Yeah.
No, you don't have to take it because I'm thinking he's giving me information because I'm sure he said he burnt.
Caradak said that he didn't burn the body. He burnt the peripherals.
Yeah.
And then
I thought you said.
Erstad told Ulmakor that he had.
Yeah, that's what.
Signed it to the flame.
That's what I thought.
Also, because it was pointless, it was inanimate at that point.
That's what I thought you'd said, but he said, "Oh no, he's."
And I thought for some
Well,
reason.
he wouldn't.
Yeah.
From Caradak's point of
Yeah,
view,
I wouldn't
the
know
body
it, yeah.
wasn't burnt. It happened in the last 12 hours while he's been
Alright.
getting
Ah,
and
okay, so-
tortured. Yeah, bear in mind he was taken off by Arvid. Erstad did his own thing.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's a few things I want to try and get round to, and I've got a few hours to. The main thing is that obviously I've been instructed by Tal to protect the king and queen,
you have.
and so I want to make sure I'm certainly not going to have the king and queen killed tonight. That's definitely not going to happen. Because as much as I need to fear for my own life in terms of what the Visok was, I'm not going up against a god today, or possibly not even.
So that's the thing, isn't it? Ulmakor's now in a situation. It's coming to a head where you've got on one side you have Ingvar, who has the Seventh Eye's interest at heart, and he's got direction that he wants to be taken. Of course, you're following Tal.
I'm not just following any god. I'm following the father of the gods.
Yes. Who you are apparently part of,
Yeah.
linked to as well. Yeah, it's coming together. I mean, because ultimately, how will Ulmakor deal with Caradak's potential sacrifice? Caradak sacrificing Alvar and the king and the queen and the unborn child, obliterating the Umbrogan tribe, replacing it with another member of the family that's more susceptible, destroying what Reichdorf is becoming in one fell swoop, one sacrifice extravagant.
And do you know
ceremony.
what a cunning way of doing it? And in a previous part of my journey, this is being at Ulmakor. Oh, kudos, well done. Oh yeah, no, high fives all round. We've been back in the enclave, just like knuckle punching and
Yeah.
woo, we're good.
Yeah,
But
well,
unfortunately, the father of the gods said that won't happen, and I'm like, oh really? I could have really enjoyed myself. We would have had such a good hoedown at the end of that one. But now not, because I've got to explain myself to the father of the gods.
Yeah, on top of that, let's be honest. There's all this. Erstad's saved you. Definitely. You've seen Caradak has seen something on the roof. You've now both seen Caradak and Ulmakor both seen some kind of reanimated corpse that's attacked you Ulmakor specifically. Meanwhile, we've got this overhauling power play by Ingvar to destroy the Umbrogan tribe, killing the king, the queen, and his champion, which is effectively the powers, using
The circumstance of
Victoria, and then sacrificing the Victoria after the event.
Kudos.
It's a big swipe of across the board in one
It's a
go.
nice power play.
And if you stop any of it, this is direct now. If Ulmakor stands up,
I
how
have
does
to.
how does he walk through his minefield?
Yeah, I've got to do because as
Save
I was saying
everyone.
as I was saying to Caradak, unless it was the Visok or the rest of the ruling council, I can of course countermount anything. But he doesn't just go willy nilly going no, because at some point he's got to answer to the ruling council and the Visok. So it's like, how do I do this without me ending up at the end of a pool being having my guts spill out for the gods? So yeah, so I'm glad to a certain extent this is stopped because it's going to give me a few days. I apologise to anyone in my normal life that I work with if I seem a little distant and a little preoccupied with my normal job. When people go, "Are you not doing this, Nevin? Are you not? Wait, hello, Nevin." It's like, yeah, just a second. Can you rescue him? Because I've got a sort of sexy job I've got.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, just a second, I'm trying to work out how my fictional character in a fictional world can survive. And
When they're looking at your meeting notes,
like,
and it's Caradak
What-
moving to the left. Unstart problem question mark. The undead.
it's more the fact when I'm giving a presentation to a senior member of the executive and they're going,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Sorry, what? I was miles I was trying to work out, and they're going to go, and what I need to do is I need to couch it in such a way that it's the same as my normal work. So I'll just rechange it and phrase it. They're going, now there's been this issue with this part of the business. They're going, what part of the business? We'll call it like a sacrifice, but it's not a sacrifice. But hey, let's just assume this is a sacrifice. How would you get out of this problem? And at which point I possibly going to be sent to HR or to have some sort of psychological assessment
Then
from
can you have that report? I want you to achieve this by the end of the week. Is that? Or you say yes, Visok.
Yeah, just how dare you? Don't you know I'm Soviet? And they're going to go, what? Oh, yeah.
Do you forget I'm the son of Tal?
Yeah. Tal speaks to me. Hello,
Look, do you want 2 sugars or not?
security. He's gone again.
So yeah, it's.
I don't have a daytime job. This is my life.
I think it's. I suppose it is another cliffhanger. And really effectively, it was
Well-
going to be far worse, and I think more on the spot. I was pushing for the speed of like fast thinking of how do because
Yeah.
you see what happens. But in this case, I think
No,
it's going to work out. It's you're heading over to Arvid's. The sacrifice is happening tonight. It's on the northern bank, so it's outside the walls. The Umberogans are poised for their ruling family to be utterly destroyed, or will they be saved? Can Ulmakor save the Umberogan family, the king and his unborn child?
Or does he just turn up with popcorn?
Who can he save, if any?
By Wednesday, I'm just like, I have no idea.
And Caradak, of course, must be. I wonder if Caradak is close to that breaking point, as he's really feeling the Semnithai's power. Erstat is very Semnithai in the way he deals with things, and with Caradak having been tortured, non-stop, beaten, but left in such a way that he could still then be made to do something. How will Caradak deal with the sacrificing now?
Let's go. Yeah.
There's another day.
Yeah. Mondays.
But yeah, so that's where we are. Obviously, I can see today is a little bit of a quieter day. Thanks very much, Holt. Sunflower Gaming, I know you're not with us at the moment, but if you come back and watch the video, I can see that you said, I know you guys are busy, but just saying, hey, I'm here. Hi, Sunflower. For how long you been with us? We've got a few people here. We've got Apricot Droopfruit, Commander Root, one of our earliest followers. Hi, Commander. Glad to see you with us. Electrical on board, Katanog, Positivity, and Slowcool. Well, thanks very much, guys. I know a few of you have been here through most of this episode. I would assume listening to it in the background. Thanks for your support. Keep the numbers up.
Thank you.
Listening to what's going on and
Thank you very much.
how Ulmakor, Caradak, as in Nevin and Talbot, deal with what's going on around them.
If when you watch this recording back, if you haven't been watching live, if you hear a high pitched sound of, I don't know, it's like air escaping from a balloon, like that's my brain trying to work out how do I get out of this with any of us being alive. But that's the feeling that's going on in my head. It's like it's like playing chess, and if you lose the game, you get your head cut off. So
Yes.
let's play decapitation chess.
You got that, and I feel like looking at Caradak, I think any minute now Caradak is just going to lose his proverbial schnizzle
Yeah.
and just start stabbing everything around, because I'm starting to see a strain.
Me just
in
a
how he's
bit.
communicating.
I know, with the
He's like,
Zack and Nick.
"Oh,
Yeah.
somebody's to die."
You're not the boss of me. Well, technically
Yeah.
you are, but you shouldn't be the boss of me.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I'm already, as far as Caradak's concerned, he's already at that point where clearly, Zakanik aside, Seventh Eye Order aside, he feels that obviously Zakanik just starts going for him clearly.
And not in a good
So,
way. Yeah.
and now he just, I understand you're Seventh Eye, but if I genuinely did something wrong, I'll accept the punishment. But now you're just taking the mick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just pushing that. You're throwing your weight around a bit too much, and that's why I think you can see Caradak slightly pushing the boundaries a little bit, especially in that scene, because I was just like,
And it wouldn't be so bad if they were
answering back. Just
taking the nick, but they're taking you're taking your incisor teeth and your thumbs. It's not like, you're taking the nick. Oh, you're just breaking me.
Not taking pleasure in just breaking it because he just doesn't like Vaktori. This is not God-fed. This has no benefit to the Seventh Eye, to anybody else.
And then just like making me that I haven't actually even got a bodyguard anymore.
Thanks very much, Doc. I appreciate the cheer. Great to see you on the board there. LC Dog just came on and then shut up and take your doubloons over the 100 cheer. Thanks very much, Doc.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah. And laid it down.
He just drops the mic as we walk out the door. Thanks, Doc. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right. So the next episode will be Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
Episode.
Next Cortex episode.
You said episode.
Next episode.
Next episode Sunday.
Is next Sunday. Next Cortex broadcast will be Tuesday.
We've got Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're going to be doing Destiny 2. Followed by Thursday at 7 o'clock, where we should be playing Battlefield 4 badly.
I'm going to improve on my 3 kills in one session. I've got a feeling that I'm just going to become a true hunter killer. Think of the end scene of Matrix with the guys with the 2 machine guns. That'll be me just like shooting all. When you've got to tell them the skill.
Guy in the walker,
yeah,
the bridge.
And just like shooting. That'll be me because I'm just turning into the complete assassin when it comes to that game. 3 kills for only 19 deaths
and 3 shots.
Possibly. One was with a tank, so it doesn't quite count.
You didn't know you were in the tank.
Well, I wasn't in the tank. I was on the outside spinning round as. But I got it. Yeah, but I got it.
Yeah, you can.
So that's the kill's the kill.
Kill's a kill, man. That's what it is. We are the elite fighting force. I keep telling you that every
At some
week.
point, I'll have to check, and maybe our viewers can tell us. There's probably some sort of pro tournament for Battlefield 4. I'm expecting to get a call up at some point going, Evan, we need you on board. I was like, I understand, but I'm getting calls. I'm getting pulled in a lot of directions here because when you see these gaming thumbs, sadly I think you use your fingers, but I'm using just thumbs because that's the new way. 3 kills in one session.
That's fantastic.
That makes Bear look. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but I'm getting there, Bear. I'm getting there.
You've got a new nickname apparently. You've now been nicknamed by Thumbs McCrackshot.
Thumbs McCrackshot, yes. Could be worse.
3 thumbs, 3 kills.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Doc. I'm going to be updating contact details at this stage.
Yeah.
And Talbot got up to 5, we think. Was it 4?
No, he never beat me. Did he?
Well, official or unofficial?
Official.
What do you mean unofficial?
No, well, that was unofficial 6. Didn't get
But he
recorded.
disconnected, so it doesn't count.
Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah. If you count the blue, me shooting the Smurfs, I shoot loads. I'm probably on about 10 a session. I think that just counts against me.
I'm not counting the Smurfs, man.
I count all kills, everyone. At least, although looking back at on one of the videos, at least I don't headshot Kane as soon as he turns around.
What?
Repeatedly, and then throw as many packs.
Then throw as many packs. Didn't even do the medipack. That's not going to work. This felt so good. I understand that part. It feels so good.
Busted. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's Thursday, and then hopefully by then I'll have had I've got some sort of chance to try and work out what on earth I'm going to do. At the moment, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. Obviously, just to confirm as well, because we didn't play on Friday, Red Dead, which one of our previous videos said we would Red Dead 2. We're waiting for the multiplayer to come out. Once that comes out, we shall find ourselves replacing Battlefield 4 temporarily to play Red Dead 2. However, this is the dun-dun-dun. We've obviously got Battlefield 5. No, Doc, at the moment, there's still lots of people talking about it. No word on the multiplayer ETA.
Yeah.
Believing it's going to be a couple of weeks, but yet to be confirmed. So keeping an eye on it, watch this space for us. And then one of our streams will be whatever one is immediately after the multiplayer, hopefully that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did say that we would be playing Red Dead 2 for the multiplayer. Get through the missions. see how that works. You know, we're not going to be playing it single player. And then we would go on to Battlefield 5. Of course, Holt brought up another option.
Oh,
Really?
He brought up another option. And
Doesn't involve a bucket of soapy frogs, because I know Holt, he'd say things like that.
Holt is like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
it could be a
soapy frog.
bucket of bucket of soapy frogs. How does this help, Holt? Not entirely sure it's a game.
And I forgot which one is it, Holt? Lies, apparently. It's nothing to do with soapy frogs.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's always a soapy frogs when it comes.
And yeah, it's something to do with 76, I think it is.
Huh?
I don't know. What was the game? Come on, Holt. Wake up.
Interstate 76.
Interstate 76 could be.
That's a game. That's a blast from the past. That's when I used to play games. That was back in the 1420s.
Soapy.
Soapy frogs.
Soapy frogs. Bucket off.
Fallout.
Fallout.
Fallout, the brand new Fallout. Apparently it has multiplayer. And I've seen one video, and a guy got his arm shot off, then his head shot off as he slumped to his knees in front of the player.
So family-friendly game.
Yeah, I'm glad we've got mature content here.
Not for me though. I might get I've still got to watch this.
There was videos of you slumping to the ground with your arm shot off.
Just. Oh, look at Nevin's passed out again.
This is disgusting.
I don't want to play this.
So we've got Red Dead 2 is. Well, we're still waiting for that multiplayer to come out. As soon as that comes out, we're going to be.
We'll play that. Well, that's a guarantee.
Battlefield 5 is happening. You know, they last a long time, and we might look at Fallout 76. So let us know once you've watched the video what you think. If there's enough interest in us playing that over one or the other, we will.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll do that.
You know, whatever you want. So we're going for Red Dead 2, Fallout, the new one, and
Battlefield
5. Battlefield 5 is one of your backups. So really, it is Red Dead 2 followed by Fallout, or do you want us to bring Fallout forward and do that and look at Red Dead 2 at a different time and play it in our own way? Because remember, there will be lots of other people out there playing these games.
We're not like us.
Not like us.
No, we have skills, special skills, a unique set of skills where we'll hunt you down, find you,
And let you kill us.
and let you kill us. Yeah, for points until your trigger finger gets blistered.
What was the Life of Brian?
Life of Brian.
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, with the Elite Suicide Squad.
I think that's what it is. It's like, wait a second, my KD's already good. Woo! Thank God. The Cortex group is here.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Well, we're doing so well.
Well, that's what we're about. We're here to support
Support
everybody.
people by getting away their bullets. So it doesn't matter how errant your shooting is, we can be on the other end of that bullet.
We could be there for you.
Exactly. Take the bullet. It's literally taking the bullet for the team.
Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah.
And constantly going, I need a medic. And then the medic's saying, where are you?
Yeah.
And then halfway through the map going, where's Holt? And Holt coming out with his own little. Well, I was just.
I've just found something else somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a bucket of soapy frogs, Holt? Yeah, that's what he's going searching for.
Or as Doc likes to point out, it's bullet chivalry.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So,
anyway,
I was just
we're
saying,
done.
here we are.
So thanks very much for watching. Doc, thanks very much for the doubloons.
Yeah.
Doubloons and popping in. Hopefully you can watch the video. I'll be taking it down off Twitch quickly so I can edit it and stick it back up on YouTube. But thanks very much, Twitch, for hosting us.
Yeah.
Streamlabs is in that direction. If you like the way things look, click on the Streamlabs link. Give it a shot. It just flashed that way.
Oh, there it is.
And yeah.
That
Thanks
way.
very much, everybody. See you Tuesday
See you
for
Tuesday.
Destiny 2.
See you on Tuesday.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank
Take care.
you.
No worries.